G'day Battlers and welcome to episode 54 of the G'day Battlers podcast, back from Worlds edition. That's probably not what we're going to title it, but it is what it is, I guess. You know, we're back from the World Championships 2025, our third World Championships, and I guess, we made it. Well, not all of us made it in some sense, but,
What do
we
you
got
mean?
back.
I see. Yeah. Do you want to, I mean, we're skipping the chronological order, but did you want to explain what didn't make it back?
Yeah, look, we literally said before we started recording, was like, oh, we'll go through sort of chronological, but I guess the shadow that is still casting heavy over this entire shenanigans, my life at the moment, is the fact that my suitcase did not make it home with me. It is,
Look, I think, listeners of the podcast are quite familiar with your travel shenanigans. I think even Zoinks mentioned it as well.
yeah. Well, look, here's the thing. I had travel shenanigans already happen at the very beginning of my trip.
Yes.
And I thought that was going to be it.
Yep.
But then
we were like, yeah.
I was like, all right, we had a little bit of an oopsie, but we've gotten through it. And then we got to the end of Worlds, and apparently the travel bug was not done with me. And so Qantas has lost my suitcase. It is still it's still lost. They still don't know where it is. It is currently Sunday. We flew back on Australian Wednesday, so that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's been 4 days, and they still are like, yeah, we don't know where it is, champion. So
yeah. I'm unsure if you saw on Twitter, but did you see Kellosaurus's last
I
tweet as
did.
well?
I did.
Oh, you got just an update. Kellosaurus also had her luggage being taken by someone else.
No, it wasn't hers. It's someone else's.
Yeah. But it had her items in it as
Yeah.
well. So, just after yours and then hers, I was just like, oh gosh, what is going on with Qantas? I thought it's the airline of Australia, but the flying kangaroo is not doing very well with your luggage at the moment, or your luggages.
Yeah.
And hopefully it turns up soon. I'm hoping, because there's there's things that I got for you in there. There's Zoe's presents. There's so many things in there. It's basically Steve's 90% of his wardrobe is in there.
Unironically, I literally am down to one pair of shorts, which is all I wear. The rest of the pairs are all in there. All of my Pokemon shirts, which is all I wear to any Pokemon event. All of my other shirts, because I was also flying straight, and I guess we'll talk about it later, I suppose. But I flew straight from Worlds essentially into a work conference, and so I put my nice shirts in there as well. And again, the shirts that I usually wear, all amazing, all just gone.
So this is a really good time to plug Steve's Patreon. So please, I know I haven't done it in a while. I've given you a break, but now is the time. If you have some spare cash that you can pay for Steve's clothes.
I realize that usually I just I think I visually reject it all, but sometimes I know there's a lot of audio listeners out there. Just know that I'm shaking my head the entire time. We're fine. And maybe they'll even find the suitcase again. I don't know. But also RIP the competitor backpack. It's also it's also gone alongside much else.
All right. But anyway, we'll get to that. We'll go in chronological order, but we'll get back to that, because there's a few things that I'm like, you know what? We could have got an air tag. We could have put the right label on. We could have actually locked your bag. There's a few things that I'm just like, oh well.
Oh well.
Oopsies.
Yeah. Oopsies. It's not like it's my fault. I didn't do anything wrong.
No.
You were making a face as if I did do something wrong. And that's insane. That's insane victim blaming behavior. That is the most if you just did this, you would be fine type response of all time.
I'm sorry.
I cannot believe this. So unfair.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Moving on. All right, we went to Worlds. I suppose my journey started first, because I had to leave from good old Perth and fly over to Sydney.
Well, did it start first? It's actually possible. I feel like our journey started at a very similar time.
Yes, of your trek from the new of the castles.
Yeah, I feel like in my head I actually left the house first, but I can't recall if that's actually true.
I think you left the house and I just arrived at the airport, perhaps. Like it was kind of
Okay.
around the same-ish
Yeah,
time.
yeah. It was about the same
Um,
time. Which again is
mm,
crazy that I was going to like the next city over and you were going across the entire country, and it was pretty similar lengths. But
yep,
anyway, yeah.
yep. So when Steve says, "Oh, I'm going down to a local in Sydney," just think it's a flight from Perth to Sydney.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, first thing on a Tuesday morning, flight was unremarkable. It was just kind of like, yep, cool, got there. I think we were actually early, so I got to the Sydney airport I think 15 minutes early. But yeah, that was fine. Then you were waiting for me because I had to take a shuttle from the domestic airport to the international, and that takes about like 20 minutes. I think they do one every 20 minutes, so I had to get in line with everyone else. And even from that point, to take the shuttle, they check your passport and just to
Mm.
make sure you're actually going on an international flight. And because I was going to America, they had to ask a few extra questions as well. Oh, how long are you going for? And these are the standard American questions. And, do you have a return flight? Blah, blah, blah. I was just like, yes. And then they put that little sticker on the back of your passport, got on the shuttle, and then, yeah, saw you at the airport. Hi.
Hi. For
Mm,
context, that's just like the questions that they like asked me at check-in. Like it's just because you didn't check in for a US trip back in Perth. So it's just like,
mm-mm,
if you started your journey in Sydney, it'd be the same thing. It's just that,
mm.
well, we may as well do it on the shuttle, I guess, seeing as you're sort of already in transit. Kind of, I guess
Yeah.
it's an efficiency factor, I guess, which makes
Hmm,
some
hmm.
sense.
Yep.
But what was missed here was travel incident one, which was before I made it to the airport.
Yes.
So I've got my suitcase and my backpack. That's what
Mm.
I'm going to the airport with. And so I get on the train from Newcastle to Sydney, 3 hours. But I have to get a train to Sydney and then change platform and get another train from the central station to the airport. And so I'm on this 3 hour journey. They've got new train carriages, and some of them have got like this little, I guess, luggage rack. And so I found one of the luggage racks, cars, thingos, and put my luggage in. Was checking like PV Poke Sims along along the
Mm.
train, yada yada yada. And eventually, I
Hmm.
think I'm doing rockets because I'm still looking for I think I'm doing the Shadow Giratina research actually. I think that's
Yeah.
what I'm sort of doing. So I
Hmm,
think I'm like,
hmm, hmm.
we're pulling up to Sydney. I'm flying Cliff. Get off the train. Go to the next platform, which is the one for the airport. Which they're kind of on opposite ends of the station. The airport one is literally like as far away as possible from everything else, and the Newcastle one sort of arrives on the other end. And as I'm going up to the station, there's these stairs you can take up to the platform, or there's an elevator or a lift if you are so inclined. And it's like, oh, please take the elevator if you've got luggage. And I'm like,
Mm-mm.
nah, I've never listened to that in my life. I always take the stairs. I can,
Hmm.
rules be darned. I'm just carrying
Yep.
that suitcase. It's fine.
Muscle it through. Hmm.
Yeah. But then I'm like, wait, where is my suitcase? it's, I don't seem to have it with me. And then it was like, oh, I left it on the train. This could be the biggest disaster of all time. If that train has gone back to Newcastle, it is going straight there. I would impossibly have to catch it. This is terrible. And so I
Hmm.
sprint as like screw whatever Team Rocket I'm fighting. I stop tapping in my pocket. I think it's not in my pocket. I've grabbed my phone. I grab my wallet out of my pocket because if I'm sprinting, it's easier to just hold it than like have it in my pocket and fall out and have another disaster. So sprint across the train station. Train hasn't left yet. God tier. Sprint onto the train, sprint to the luggage thing, grab the suitcase, sprint off the train before it departs. We're clear. We have not lost our luggage yet.
Yeah, it's the foreshadowing.
Yeah. So anyway, then I think I once I'm off the train again, I look at my phone. Cliff has beaten 2 of my Pokemon. I still clutch it up because I'm the goat. Yeah. Anyway, we made it to Sydney.
Cliff's there with his shadow Pokemon buddy. Where are you, buddy?
He's sitting there like, yes, he aired out. This is so good. We got the lag on.
Hmm, hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, we're making it to the airport. And I think, again, it's pretty unremarkable on the whole.
Hmm.
We see Kellosaurus and
Yes.
right in the airport.
Hmm.
And then Rick Flareon is also on our flight. So we
Yeah.
see him at the gate. We didn't really see him. We saw him for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes before our flight.
Hmm.
But otherwise, it was just I guess get on a plane, do the mad scramble to open up PV Poke on our phones so that it works in offline mode so you can use it on the flight.
I wanted to ask, and I don't know if you know the answer to this. PV Poke has an app now.
It does.
Does it work offline?
Well, I'm pretty sure the app is just some weird shenanigans where it's kind of like it's just the website.
Oh, okay.
Like
Right.
I remember downloading it, but I feel like it might have even just been like a shortcut to the website or something. It's not
Right.
like a traditional app in the way you would think of
Oh,
it, I don't think.
okay. Yeah.
So
I did
I
see
did
it.
delete it.
Yeah, it came up with the pop up going, "Oh, it's got an app," but I was like, "Oh, I'll download it." And I just haven't opened it up yet. It's downloaded on my phone. I was like, "Oh, that might be handy for the flights."
Nah, it's
Mm,
probably easier to have it up on Google anyway.
yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, as some people that know that if they decide to travel on the same flight as me, they get rewarded with baked goods. So it means that yourself and Rick got some choc chip cookies to eat on the flight. But hey, Qantas is pretty good. They give you food.
yeah. I mean, I don't eat it, but yeah.
No, but compared to, let's say, like the Honolulu Jetstar flight, whereas a very limited menu, this time around it was like, oh, you get actually a proper meal, and there's like snack bar corners. I was like, oh, snack bars.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, and it wasn't a full flight, which is awesome because we got some seats, or neighbor-free seats uh, around. So I was like, yay! We had a bit more room than just kind of sitting in the tightness of economy. But it was a larger plane, so which is nice. The domestic flight when I went back to Perth was packed. It was like it was to a point where they were like, if you have luggage that we can check in, we'll do it for free because it was just so packed on the way home. Um, so yeah, and then the 14-hour flight over, and then we land in LA.
Which, oh my gosh, I hate LA so much. It's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not cool.
Mm.
I, uh,
I, I,
in general, I don't like
mm,
the fact that Worlds is hosted in the US for many visa related reasons,
mm-hmm.
but Anaheim was quite possibly my now belief of like the worst possible city to select. It's so far away from the airport. It's all so expensive. Its traffic is a disaster out of LA. Like, why are we going? I don't want to be there. So,
Yeah, like it is definitely. When it was announced last year, one, I didn't know where Anaheim was because I haven't really explored the US. But then looking into details afterwards, I was like, why is it in this location? It just seems so awkward. Because I was looking at ways to try and get from LAX to Anaheim, and there were shuttle buses, or shuttle kind of like taxis, but like larger ones. So you had to you could co-share with other people to other hotels in Anaheim. There was public transport that would take like 2 to 3 hours to get to your location, and or an Uber, and it just seems so silly to even take a shuttle because it was more expensive. Whereas an Uber was going to cost like around the 100 USD mark, where a shuttle, I think it was like quoted at like 120 straight to your hotel. And I was like, yeah, that's silly. Why am I sharing and paying more?
yeah, or you could take the public transport, which would be way cheaper, but also all of the
Mm.
locals were saying, probably don't take it. So,
Yeah, I had a quick read on Reddit because obviously Anaheim's a location of Disneyland, so a lot of people were like, "Oh, how do I get to Disneyland pretty quick?" Especially international travelers, or like, what's the best way? And people like, don't take public transport. Just if you're going to pay that much for Disney, just fork it out for the taxi slash Uber. Uber is the way to go. Do not take taxi.
oh yeah.
Yeah, or Lyft, or one of those like those companies. We're not sponsored, so therefore we have to like just mention the other
Oh,
ones
lift and hold. Nah,
until Uber
Uber.
comes back to us.
Yeah, right. We're waiting for Uber to be the first official sponsor of the G'day Battlers podcast. But
Use
that's good.
G'day Badlers 10 on your next.
Yeah, it'll still be $1 gazillion to get from LAX to Anaheim. That's also after it took it took us an hour and a half to get through security, to
It was very
actually get
long.
luggage. It was, and that's not
Mm,
even an exaggeration. It
mm.
legitimately took that long, and
I know we spotted a Mind Joke and Susie Susie, when they were there, and I had a chat with them after, like, during the tournament times, and I was like, "Oh, we spotted you, but like you guys were in the fast track line," and they were like, "It wasn't even fast track. Like we probably waited as long as you guys." And I was just like, "What?"
It looks so much
So
shorter.
it looks so much shorter, but I think they may have got questions asked or something along those lines. But like they were just like, yeah, it actually took as long, and that they were like, oh, what was the point of paying for that fast track, um, whatever ticketing kind of thing? And I was like, oh, okay. So anyway, I think parting advice is like before you get into the immigration line, go to the toilet, bring a snack. Um, because you're going to be stuck there like cattle. And it's not the first time I'll use that term
Mm.
for the rest of the podcast.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of
Mm.
cow-related shenanigans on this trip as well. But eventually we got out there. We
Ooh,
just
it's just my phone.
Ubered ourselves. Rick was staying
Mm-hmm.
in LA for a little for another day, which was
Mm-hmm.
fair enough because he was pretty pooped.
Yeah.
And so we made our way into Anaheim for 100 US
Mm-hmm.
duh.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, what time? It was already like like 7 p.m. or something that evening on the
Yeah, because
Tuesday.
we waited a little bit because there was a car accident on the freeway.
Oh
So
yeah.
the surging prices for Uber increased.
Yep.
So we were like, let's give it like half an hour. We had some snacks post immigration line and then made our way to LA exit, which is like you got to take from LAX airport to take a shuttle bus that goes to another area that has all the ride share pickup areas. So we did that and ordered the Ubers, and then I'm pretty sure I fell asleep in the Uber.
Yes, you did.
Because when I woke up, I'm like, oh, we're at the hotel.
Yeah, you weren't asleep for that long, to be fair. Like you
It
were
felt like
probably
a
only
long time.
asleep for like I don't know, like 20 minutes of the. I mean, it
Mm,
was like an hour 20 drive or something, but yeah,
yeah,
you weren't asleep
yeah.
that long.
I was pretty conked out. I was just like,
Yeah,
oh. Because on the way back, as in like when we got back to LAX on the way home, oh no, on the way back home, I was like, oh, I've never seen this area before. So it was like seeing it for the first time again. I was like, ah.
yeah, that checks out.
Mm.
But anyway, we eventually got in there. We just hit. I don't know. We hit one of the fast food joints.
Taco Bell for the first night.
Oh well, yeah. Went to
Um,
Taco Bell. I
Yeah, no, don't rate it. And then I got so much hate online about it. As soon as I posted that on Instagram, I'm like, nah, Taco Bell, pretty like wouldn't rate it. And then I had at least 3 messages being like, "You take that back," along those lines. It's like Taco Bell's essential for like Americans because it's very low cost. And I'm like, well, it isn't
disagree.
really.
Such a hard disagree.
They said it's like a cheap meal, and I'm just like, well, no, I don't think. I think there's other cheaper meals,
Oh yeah.
and that they said it tastes better when drunk, and I'm like, I think that's a bit of a reflection on you than it is on the actual food.
Yeah, that's a sign of bad food. Like you're
Tastes better
allowed
when
to.
drunk.
You can have like drunk food, hangover food. That's all fine, but you
Uh-huh.
can't lie about the quality. That doesn't mean it's
Yeah.
good.
No. So Taco Bell then fell to the bottom of the fast food list because the fast food list goes on
Yeah, I think it's
after.
firmly last place. I don't
Yes,
think there's anything
agree,
even
agree.
in
If we had a
contention.
tier list, let's get a tier list. No, if we had a tier list, it would definitely be at the
Yep.
bottom.
No,
Um,
sucked.
you can leave a comment. Actually, yes, if you disagree, leave a comment because we want the algorithm to like this particular podcast.
Yeah, thanks.
Um,
And we'll even read them this time. I mean, we've got like 5
yes,
episodes to catch up on.
we will get through them.
We'll get
That
through
is our
them.
mission today.
Yep.
And then after being disappointed at Taco Bell, we went to Jack in the Box,
Oh yeah,
which was
which is
just down the
fine.
road from it. Yeah, and I was like, it was fine. I think something to comment was your milkshake
Oh,
that you
oh my
got.
gosh! I wanted a vanilla milkshake because I was like, oh, awesome. That's sort of what I like to get from like McDonald's, etc.
Hmm.
But there was no milk involved. It was a cup of ice cream. It was like there was no ability to stir it. There was no ability to take it up the straw. It was just straight ice cream. It was as if they'd taken like a 2 liter tub of ice cream. They'd just gotten one chunk. They've accidentally got a glass-sized scoopful, put it in the cup, and then be like, "Oh, there's no room for anything else." And then it said, well, just stick a straw in it and give it to him. It'll be fine." I truly can't understand how they could call that a milkshake. There's no
I,
milk.
I was there just watching Steve trying to suck up the milkshake, and it was basically he was like losing air because it was just so thick. And then to a point where I was like, okay, it's like the lid comes off, and I was like, I think you need a spoon.
Yeah, and I was using the straw as a spoon. I would stick it in. All of the ice cream would just stick it on there. I was like, oh, I'll eat it off the straw. It was ridiculous. Truly bad. I never ordered another milkshake while I was in the US. That was the end of it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I think the ice cream, like Joe's Italian ice cream probably served more
Mm.
thinner like ice cream than like
Yes.
that milkshake that you had. I was like, oh, and that was probably the first time from the trip that I was like, America. And it
Yep.
wouldn't be the last time me saying that, but I was like, I see.
Yeah. I know in
Um,
general, like any Americans that like listen to this like Americans are just used to all of this. Like it's all
yes,
normal. It's all
yes.
like this is the experience. This is our life.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
the entire time we were just like, what the heck is up with this? This feels wrong. This is
Yeah, yeah.
in
Multiple times of being mind blown and being like, this is a Black Mirror moment. Because it's like you guys seem normal, and it should be how I fathom normal, but it's just a little bit twisted.
yeah. And by the way, I mean I said this about a million times during the trip, but
Mhm.
anytime we got food, I think I sort of came away with either the thought or the out loud comment of, I don't know how you can live in the US and be skinny.
Mm.
It just doesn't seem possible.
The
I
two
don't get it.
things that the two things that ran through my head the entire trip was like that was one of them, being like, how do you eat well here? How do you be healthy here? As someone that is a allied health professional, that runs through my head because I'm like, I that's what I do day in day out, talk about like healthy habits, healthy living, things like that. I'm like, how do you do that here? And how do you do it on a budget as well? The second other thing was like, how do you even budget anything?
Oh
You have to
yeah.
do the tax and tip. And I'm very thankful for your formula that you came up with like conversion to Australian dollar at the end. But
Yep.
I was just like, and then they earn so little at the same time. And I was like, maybe it's just Anaheim because Anaheim's really expensive. And the two locations we've been thus far is Honolulu, again, exorbitant. A holiday destination, therefore they're going to inflate the prices. And now in Anaheim, so I'm like, oh, maybe we've just been in two inflated places, and that this is just the tourism tax that being in the area. But then I'm just like, oh, I think it's just how it is.
I mean, you say we. I mean, like I've been to the US a bunch. You was in Seattle like 3 years ago or something. It's not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's not like
yeah.
this is our only exposure to
True,
the
true, true,
US.
true. But it's the last two worlds, yes.
Sure, sure.
Mm.
But,
But yeah, that was night one. Already, um, pretty deep in the American culture.
oh yeah, you could say that. But it was, also, like, I think we're 23 minutes into this podcast. We haven't mentioned like Pokemon once. This is not
No,
a.
no. Oh,
uh,
look, I think there's going to be a lot of the food section
oh
of the
yeah.
podcast in in this episode, which I think was it Greg Fortois that thoroughly enjoyed.
Look, it's going to be food, travel, and not much else. We'll
Mm-hmm.
get to the actual worlds bit eventually.
We will,
Um,
we will.
well, eventually,
Um,
but I mean, we're so close. It's Wednesday night. We go to bed, honk
uh-huh,
shoe. We get
mm-hmm,
up. We go to breakfast, which is 7 to 9 at a hotel.
uh-huh,
More
uh-huh.
food section. They've
More
got like a
food.
waffle machine and all the rest. And
Mm-hmm.
all of breakfast, there was just this constant stream of people that we recognize. All of the entire continent of Europe is apparently staying in our same little hotel. So I
Yes.
think we saw like PvP David and his dad. We saw
Yes.
Stone Collection. We
Mm-hmm.
saw Snowman.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Alejandro.
Yes.
Everyone
Colin Six
just
and
Colin
brother.
Six and his brother. Yeah, it's everyone was here. It was kind of a
Yeah.
wild experience. Air Bubble ended up rocking up later.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh-huh.
a lot of folk.
And then like it was a few, I'm pretty sure like TCG families,
Oh
because
yeah.
you could see them playing using the gazebo area afterwards to practice. And I'm pretty sure they were all European as well. So I think like booking.com or wherever just was like in like that ISP was like, hey, you guys are from Europe. This is your budget. Here you go.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was pretty awesome. It was like a good
Mm.
price, good location, like
Hmm.
very reasonable, free, like included breakfast. I think
Yeah, yeah.
like I'm very happy with it.
I was as well. Like, not. I laugh because, like, apparently I'm bougie according to Ashton Ash.
Apparently.
I don't know where he got that information from.
Are you
Uh,
kidding? Go back, watch the podcast a year ago.
But like value for money, we did very well with this one. I think
Oh yeah,
this is because like I was for already looking at San Fran like accommodation, and I'm just like, where's the free breakfast? No, not entailed. Like, does not include breakfast. I was like, where do I get breakfast in San Fran? Anyway, and very very much more expensive. So I was like, oh, we did well. We did really well in Anaheim.
we did very well.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, breakfast with the Europeans every morning. So that was kind of cool. That was it's like hey, just casual chats. And then Wednesday was my Pokemon Center booking,
oh yeah,
and this is where the cattle references come in.
oh yeah,
Some of you may or may not know that the pop up Pokemon Center is available during Worlds.
yeah.
It's available for, let's call it, 72 hours, and they sell a lot of the merchandise that have the Anaheim theme. So this year we had the Letterman Pikachu jacket, so it was available in Pokemon Go, and there's plushies, there's like all sorts of merchandise that have this kind of theme. There was also like a Arcanine one as well, which looks pretty cool. And then they've got the usual sitting cuties. So if you need any of them, that's available. But the real limited edition ones are basically anything that's Anaheim theme. And both Steve and I previously were at the creator hour, so we
For
have
the
been
last 2
very
years,
last two
not this
years.
time.
Yeah, we were very very spoiled, and coming from being able to see everything well stocked space, like you can film, you can just chill, just like take in the whole shop, because the shop has different sections and different themes as well, so you can like take photos and do your Instagrammy stuff. So that was really really cool. This time around we didn't get that, however we did get some bookings, so I was like, okay, well, I woke up super early at one morning when they opened up the slots, booked in mine for 4 p.m. on the Wednesday. So before the event started. So I was like, great, it's before the event. We get to go in, go grab our stuff, and then be done with the shop. Don't have to worry about the shop anymore. Uh, we got there, I think, 2 o'clock because we just wanted to hang with other
Yeah.
people, knowing that everyone will be around the convention center. Even
Mhm.
from that point, chaos, absolute chaos. The line was so long. And it was just a big crowd of people, and that on social media there was someone that filmed it and said one of the staff members was yelling out going, you guys need to move across because there's cars coming through, and if you don't move, we're going to call the fire guard. And
Fire
I
warden.
didn't yeah, I'm like, who's this fire dude? Because we don't have them in Australia. I'm like, are they talking about firefighters? There's no fire here. I don't understand. And then after talking to some Americans, they're like, oh, they're the people that try and reduce or I suppose like stop riots from happening, or stop like bad incidences from happening. So they'll like disperse people out and yell at people, or may use force to move people along. I was just like, oh, America.
Yeah, it was I mean, interesting. I didn't think it was like when we were there, we never saw any insane chaos. Like, to be honest with you, like
No,
there was some
it's pretty
other videos
calm.
later that seemed a little more intense, but like anytime we were
Yeah.
there wasn't anything that crazy other than
Mm-mm.
like just the, huge mass of people that was there, and generally poor ability to listen to instruction. Um,
Mm, mm,
which
I
also
agree.
a very big part of the American way that we experienced was just Americans not listening to rules or what they're supposed to do, which not what happens over here. But we rock up at 2. We just hang out. We see a few people. We see bird power. We see like very brief glimpses. A lot of people as they're getting like
Mm-mm.
pushed through the line. Like
Yeah.
we see glimpses of Rocket Claire, glimpses of
Mm-hmm,
my
mm-hmm,
Johannesburg fellow compatriots, Alan, Mike Chen,
mm-hmm.
all getting pushed through.
Yeah.
And we end up, making a quick little visit to downtown Disney with They Love Jai and Z-Tub in the end.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. That's what we
while
did. Yeah.
we're just killing time at this point. Like
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
but
Um.
we
When we were downtown Disney, I spotted a Foosley, which is someone that is a streamer, and I was just like, oh, it's her, and I'm like, obviously. being in LA, like this is where they all are. Like, I'm not gonna find them in like in the middle of Perth. Like, it's kind of like, oh wow, they're just having lunch. Obviously, didn't disturb. It was just more like, wow, I'm in America moment again.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
that makes sense. I guess it's more of an LA thing in general, but
yeah, I
yeah.
have her on my friends list. I hope she opens my gift.
I'm not opening any gifts.
No, she's not opening any gifts.
And she wasn't even at Worlds, right? So it's, I don't think she was really in the
I
Pokemon
don't believe
spirit.
so. I don't think she was. Well, I didn't spot her.
Yeah,
There was,
I don't
yeah.
think she was there.
Mm-mm-mm.
But yeah. So anyway, we ended up going back to the Pokemon Center for our 4 p.m. booking. We bring
Yeah,
Jai and Z-Tub with us.
Zitab. Uh huh.
Because we had a booking for 4, so 2
Uh
people can
huh.
come along.
Mm-hmm.
And we get so there's a way that this is supposed to work, and then there's a way that it actually happened.
Correct.
So uh, to highlight this, we went from like the greatest Pokemon Center experience of all time because we got like the super extra credit last time to
Mm-hmm.
what I believe was the worst Pokemon Center experience of the entire week. Like the literal worst that it could have been.
Correct.
So we
Correct.
rock
Correct.
up,
Correct.
we get in line at like 3:45 ish for our 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
booking, and
Mm-hmm.
the whole time they're sort of like not yelling in a bad way, they're just yelling so that people
No.
can hear them to like
Correct.
if you're for put your hand up if you've got a 4:15 booking,
Oh no, no, 4:15.
get out. You
Yeah.
should not be here. Like just which I thought was
Mm-hmm.
funny. But the whole
Mm-mm-mm.
time they're just yelling, and then eventually it's like, okay, 4 p.m, let's go in. And so they
Yes.
usher you in pretty quickly. They check that you've got a
Mm-hmm.
booking, and then in you go, and you get maneuvered into one of 4 different little pens: the
Mm-hmm.
Pikachu, the Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmander.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get it put in Pikachu,
Yes.
and as far as we can tell, everything's going fine. We're sort of
Mm-hmm.
lined up in our little pen.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other pens is, all right, I'm getting called or something.
Uh-huh.
Once your pen gets released, you then sort of act line up and go into the center. Happy days. It should be fine.
All I can
Um,
picture in my head at the moment is like when the cows get released in spring, like after the winter, they're like, the sunlight, they got fresh grass.
yeah, which is sort of
Mm-hmm.
how we were imagining it in some sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were sort of just waiting in there at
Uh-huh.
4:15, 4:30,
Mm-hmm.
4:45, and none of the pens have been released. There's still a queue sitting at the Pokemon Center that hasn't moved. We're like,
Mm-hmm.
why has no one moved in 45 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Then an hour passes. Hour 15. Hour
Mm-hmm.
30. No one has moved. We're like, what is going on right now? And then there's like a rumor that like, oh, well, because there's no time limits on how long you can spend in the Pokemon Center, people are like, when anytime the staff like restock stuff, people are just waiting in the Pokemon Center to grab the
Mm-hmm.
restock as soon as it's get put up. So the
Yeah.
center's just too full. That's the sort of
Mm-hmm.
rumor that's going around. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then it hits the 2 hour mark and it's like,
Mm.
okay, it's 6 p.m. We're here for our
Mm-hmm.
4 p.m. booking.
Yeah.
No one has moved. What
Mm-hmm.
is going on? And what it turns out is that the payment system had gone down. So everyone that was
Yes.
in the Pokemon Center couldn't purchase what they'd grabbed. And so it's like, right. So we're just waiting for that to happen. And at this point, they are trying to cram more people from outside that have their 4:30, 5 p.m., 5:30, 6 p.m. bookings into the sort of pens as well. So they end up doubling the capacity inside the pens. They just fill
Yes.
more people into it.
Uh-huh.
At which point we're hanging out, like it's the 4 of us. We're with Roger Babyface, Richie 1409, the Mexicans, and we're just there. And I've got such a strong image in my head of Roger Babyface just constantly going moo. Cows just waiting to be let out of our pen, and we've
I,
got a lot of time to kill.
I laughed so hard when he was the first thing he said when we were in the pen. He's like, "This is what they do to cows in our country." I'm like, I didn't realize how funny he was, and that was like the start of the trip. I was like, great, this is gonna be good.
Roche is great. He's a great guy. I'm a big fan.
Mm-mm-mm. Mm-hmm.
And so during this 2.5 hours that we end up spending in our pen,
Mm-hmm.
we've got to kill the time somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Attitude could have been very bad, but it's like, all right,
Yes.
we've got to keep spirits up somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so one thing, and let's finally talk Pokemon. One
Mm-hmm.
thing that it was like a mist that was across the entire week in the lead up to the Pokemon Center was a single
Mm-hmm.
tweet made by Z's Wireless. Now,
Yes.
last year he made a tweet, and if you're listening to audio, it might be a little bit hard to imagine unless you know exactly what I'm talking about. But there's this graph that gets thrown out quite often on internet spaces where like it's a bell curve, and at the left end there's like, you know, a dumb guy, real gooball saying some quote, and then in the middle it's the average person, and then over at the other side there's, I don't know, I guess smart guy that's saying the same thing as the dumb guy. And last year
Dumb
he
guy
made a
with
tweet.
glasses. Yep.
Yeah. Last year he made a tweet that was like, essentially Shadow Gyarados used Awkward Tail. Because Shadow Gyarados, most people think was a pretty bad Pokemon, and he was like, nah, I'm gonna use it. And so like, dumb guy, let's Shadow Gyarados use Awkward Tail. Most people, no, you have to build a balanced team of meta Pokemon that have a good standing across most of the meta Pokemon. And then smart, you know, guy at the end, Shadow Gyarados used Awkward Tail. And he did incredibly well last year.
He did.
This year, he said something along the lines of, it's that time again. Retweeted it with, instead of Shadow Gyarados, King Gambit. King Gambit used Metal Sound. And so there was just this air of no one was taking King Gambit seriously. But because Z's Wireless was talking about it, everyone had to take it seriously. Everyone had to be like, wait, what does King Gambit actually do? And so we spent this 2.5 hours just looking at King Gambit PV Poke Sims. Like, yeah, Debbie showing her King Gambit off. And to be honest with you, I was getting more and more convinced that it was real. It's got really good pacing. It's 10 turns to the move. It's got good coverage. Z's Wireless was running a different moveset than I would have picked, but both are viable. Like, it had a lot of good moves. It had a lot of good core breaking potential. It beats all of the top usage mons. It beat the Credilli, the Dusclops. It beat everything at the top, and then sort of lost to everything else.
Yes.
And there was just, anyone you talk to was aware of this tweet and was aware of the threat of Wireless with King Gambit. And it was such a cool part of Worlds that like this one man can just name a Pokemon and all of a sudden everyone's going like, oh God. And look, to be honest with you, I think it would have made it onto my team if I did not have to do 15 Dark or Steel type raids in the next 2 days if I wanted to get King Gambit.
I still thought it would have been funny if you were like, hey guys, I need 15 Absol raids, please send in the next 24 hours.
Look, it would have been a real grind, but I decided against it in the end. But that's fine. But definitely pretty cool. They love Jai. Big hater on King Gambit. He could not get behind the King Gambit at all. He was like, no, stop being a silly Billy. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
We were like, we were building teams with it.
Well, I'd hoped it came in handy for later with They Love Jai.
Perhaps it might. But, you know, after all this King Gambit talk, eventually, 2.5 hours later, Charmander group gets called. The Charmander pen gets released. They get into the Pokemon Center. Like, okay, we're almost there. And then finally, Pikachu group gets to join the queue to then go into the Pokemon Center.
Yeah.
And as we're all sort of shuttling along, again, you've got the cries of Rosha Babyface going.
I was filming at that point, and there's just Rosha at the back being like, it's never been so hard for a company to take my money.
Yep. But look, we got in there. And you would think, okay, issue's done. We made it into the Pokemon Center. It's taken us 2.5 hours. We finally got into the store.
Yes.
Turns out, dear listener, this is not where it ended. This was not the end of our tale. Because not only was it, you know, super packed in there, super crowded. A lot of the exclusive stuff had already vanished. You know, there was no Pikachu plushes, no Machamps. It was all, Debbie couldn't get the magnet that she wanted, couldn't get the pin that she wanted. It was all taken apart. Ravaged.
I didn't, no Jigglypuff pin, no Pikachu with the Letterman, no magnet. And I was like, those are the 3 things I wanted. That was it. I'm a simple girl. That's it.
Yeah. So, you know, there's that part of the experience, which everyone is somewhat familiar with the regular, you know, experience at the Pokemon Center, because again, there's people that are just waiting for the restock to instantly grab it. Anyone who wanted the Arcanine stuff, death, instant death. I mean, I didn't want it, so like it didn't matter to me personally.
I didn't see it. That's a
thing. Yeah,
like,
no, neither.
It wasn't there.
I guess not.
It was just
Um,
empty. They actually replaced it with plushies of other
mm,
things, like the Jigglypuff plushies and things, because you could see the labels there
yeah,
being like, "Oh, this is where it would have been," but
yeah.
they didn't want it to be an empty shelf, so they just put all the extra stock of other things there.
Yeah. So, we get in there. Eventually, we sort of grab the stuff we want. To
Mhm.
be honest with you, most of the stuff I was getting was for other people. Like it was
Same,
like,
same.
Ash and Ash wanted the backpack, and there
Backpack.
was, as always, a risk that when he finally gets to the Pokemon Center, they won't have it. They had it while
Correct.
I was there, so I was like, all right, I'll grab it for you
Yeah.
now. So,
Mhm.
we're all good. Just pay me back after. Easy done.
Yeah.
And so we grab our stuff, and
Mhm.
then as a part of the lottery,
Mhm.
I won the opportunity to spend a lot of money to get the Bear Walker. This
Correct.
very unique skateboard. They only make
Mhm.
1,250 um, each year. I assume it's
Yeah.
the same number as last year, to be honest with you. But
I think
it's
they've increased it from
oh,
like
they've increased it,
Yokohama. I think Yokohama was the hardest one out
right?
of like the three world trips we've been to, and then I think they've slowly increased it up and up.
Okay,
Because I'm
fair
pretty
enough.
sure there was like I think Honolulu was under 1,000.
Under a
So
thousand. Wait, how many Honolulu Pokemon Bear Walkers were there?
yeah,
Yeah, I don't instantly get an answer, so
yeah,
never mind. I guess.
that's all right.
eh, Someone can let us know if they happen to know.
Yeah.
But I entered not because I wanted it, because here's the thing:
Mm.
it is
Mm-hmm.
the essentially it is the number one scalper item. If you get your
Yes.
hands on it, you can sell it for absolute mega bucks,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
truly an insane markup. Like you're paying for your entire world's trip just off this skateboard. But
Correct.
not, I wasn't interested in that. Instead, when I got it, I was like, oh heck yeah,
Mm.
we can get it to Pogo Ash, because Pogo
Mm-hmm.
Ash, very very loved member of the community, really like a massive fan of
Mm.
Bear Walker and these skateboards. And I was just
Yes.
like, as soon as I got it, I was like, I sent her a message being like, hey, just checking, like you don't have a hookup of this yet, right? And
Mm.
and she was like, sweet, great. And so, locked
Mm-hmm.
in to give it to her. So,
Yes.
because in my head, I would certainly prefer that they went to 1,250 people that actually wanted them, as opposed to
Correct.
1,250 people looking to make a mega profit. Would
Yeah.
would be the ideal way the world works.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it is not how the Pokemon Center works, especially not these days. It is all just a scalping sesh, unfortunately. But we end up getting it to Pogo Ash, so glad that all worked out. By the time we left the Pokemon Center, like there were a lot of people just as we were carrying it back to the hotel, all just like, "Hey, are you selling that?" This is-
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just did a quick Google search on eBay to see how much it's currently listed for, and it's around probably Australian $1,000.
yeah, right. So that's like, I don't know, 650 USD maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, which
And
is,
to
I think that's double ish what it
yes,
was
correct.
selling for.
Yes,
So
around there.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
pretty big markup, I guess.
Mm.
But hey, we didn't get out very quickly, because to get the Bear Walker, and you
Yes,
were getting an ATB as well,
correct. Yeah.
we which again was a voucher thingo. We
Mm-hmm.
had to get into another queue. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I got another queue. You said it kept going around buying stuff, and then you were going to join me.
Yeah.
But I got in the queue and was like, oh yeah, easy. Like you're going to grab a few extra things. Just join me when
Mm-hmm.
you're here.
Mm-hmm.
I might have moved like, I don't know, 20 meters by the time you've actually joined me. This was
Mm-hmm.
another like hour and a half queue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Again, not even exaggeration. I
No.
was just in
No.
this queue to purchase an item
Mm-hmm.
for an hour and a half after already
Yeah.
being in a queue for 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It was just,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah. When you were in the queue, and I was like, okay, well, I've got a shopping list to go through. So, and I saw how long the line was. I'm like, I can actually take my time.
yep,
I don't have to rush out. So I was like going through. I basically started at the beginning again and walked all the way back because you were at the end.
yep.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna actually run through and like walk all the way to the back, check if I've missed anything, grab all the things on my shopping list, as in like mainly the things that were gifted for other people because I already got what I wanted or what I can purchase that were there, and took some photos, took a bit of content as well. And then when I come back, I'm like, oh, you're 2 centimeters forward. I was like, ah, I see.
Baffling. I don't
Mm,
even understand how it was possible that I could move so slowly, because it's like they were
yeah.
physically they were moving presumably at the start. They were giving people the stuff that
Mm.
they're getting vouchers for. I can't understand what was happening for it to move so slow. Made no sense to me.
Yeah. So there was two lines, and it got confusing for some because there was one line for the lottery winners. So, like yourself with the Bear Walker, myself with the ETB, that would go in. You have to show your ID, and then they'll give you a voucher to then, when you take it to the teller, that they will. You'll pay for it first, and then afterwards you would take your receipt and go collect that item. There was also just another line for just general purchasing. So a lot of people were confused. So there were people in the line and people ducking out of the line. And then there was also bag checkers as well, because a lot of the items were limited to one per person. So even though, you have all these videos of scalpers grabbing like five of whatever, they still would have got bag checked on the way out, because they only had one item. So because I was missing those three items, I was missing the Jigglypuff pin, I was missing the Pikachu, I was missing the magnet. Um, the person that was bag checking, I was just like, "Hey, can I have a look in your discard pile and see if like any of those three things are there?" They were not, but the other people in line was like, "Oh, can I grab that water bottle?" Because the water bottles were gone. So obviously someone grabbed two water bottles, and that one was discarded. So I thought that was pretty funny. It felt very much like the lolly aisle before you purchase that your things at Woolies or something like that. You're like, "Oh, I'll just grab a little bit of a nibble or something." I was like, "Oh, the discard piles, anything I wanted."
Yeah. Yeah. So, we get through that. Eventually we get our
Mm,
stuff. We get out
yeah.
there.
Uh-huh.
Again, our booking was at 4 p.m.
Uh-huh.
And the final time of exit
Mhm.
with our goods after spending a fat chunk of change was
Mhm.
8:33 p.m. 4
8:33.
hours and 33 minutes after. And then, that's,
Uh,
ignoring the extra 15 minutes you were in the queue beforehand. That's,
yes,
that's just
yes.
cherry on top type beat.
Yeah.
So we well and truly missed dinner with the Australians. That wasn't happening for us.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
it truly was just like literally all week when you would tell someone like, they were like, "Oh, have you been to the Pokemon Center?" And you'd be
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, I was in that Wednesday afternoon." They'd be like, "Oh, I heard about
Yeah.
that." It
Yeah.
was the very, very bad stuff, unfortunately.
I remember you asking, because I think it's no news to others that I love the Pokemon Center. Like, it is like one of my favorite things. And you had a booking for the Thursday at,
Oh,
I think 2 or 2:30,
3 p.m., I
and
think. Yeah.
yeah, and because I had missing items, you were like, "Do you want to go?" And I could see it from your face that you did not want to go again. And I'm not usually one to turn that down. And I was like, I don't want to go again. I am actually content not to go. Like, as much as I would love these items, I was also like, I can't put myself through that again. Like, short, like Worlds is so short in itself. And I felt like that took like a good, 10% of my like daytime time to just,
It was
to,
legitimately more than 10%. It was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
legitimately a sixth of our day.
Yeah, I was just
It's
like,
like
I can't do that again. And because we got back so late, by the time we left there at 8:30 or like late 33, and then by the time we walked back to the hotel, we were famished, absolutely famished. But it was also the time that like a lot of the food places were closing.
Mm.
And I was like, do we even go get food? And luckily, Debbie bought some 2-minute noodle cups. So we just had a very quick, like, all right, we'll microwave this and just eat some snacks and just kind of have something in our belly. We've got breakfast tomorrow, at least. And just, yeah, had a snooze.
Yeah. Although one thing that I forgot to add to the poor organization of the Pokemon Center in general,
Mm.
and to be clear, like the payment going down isn't like their fault, like whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
even
yeah.
outside of that, it was a pretty bad experience all around, and it felt
Mm.
quite poorly organized, I would argue.
Mm, mm.
But to
Yeah.
add to that is at the start they zip tie your bag so that you can't like shove stuff
Yes.
into your bag and as you
Mm-hmm.
leave. But as we exited, I was like, okay, so like and as a result, while we were in the 2.5 hour queue, we couldn't like get into our bag to like, eat any snacks or like grab stuff out of there.
Mm-hmm.
But as we left, it was like, okay, well, how do we get the zip ties off? And
Mm.
the lady was just like, oh, there was a guy here, but he left. And so I was like,
Yes.
okay, so my bag's zip tied. I've been here for 4.5 hours. My bag is now
Mm-hmm.
zip tied. What am I supposed to do? And it's like, oh. So like
Yeah.
we ended up, I'm glad that I didn't immediately need anything because we ended up getting back
Mm.
to the hotel and like, just nail clipping it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just, it was baffling that, there'd be
Yeah.
so many people leaving with zip tied bags and just being told, yeah, sorry, man, nothing we
Yeah.
can do. Too bad, champion. It's like, what in the world?
I felt really bad when we were in the cattle pens, Pikachu pen for life,
Mm.
that there was a gentleman in front of us that had a small child,
Oh yeah.
and the small child was absolutely cracking it by hour one, and he's just like, this is my only booking, this is all I have, we just want to go through the Pokemon Center. And it got to a point where he just had to go, and I just really felt for him. I'm like, oh, can you ask at the front, maybe they'll just like give you some permission to go in, or maybe a rain check and be like, hey, look, come back tomorrow. We'll pop you into a slot somewhere, just because of the circumstances of today. But because there was just so much confusion happening, I don't think like he got the resolution that he could have had. But yeah, again, our bags were zip tied. I was quite lucky because my bag was actually a little bit loose on the zip tie, because my phone before going into the Pokemon Center was 40%. I'm like, oh yeah, that should be fine. We'll go through the Pokemon Center. I'll just recharge it later. But because it was so loose, I was like, oh, I could get to my battery pack, and I could actually get into my bag to grab some snacks. Thank you to Miscellaneous Mal for making some Ditto cookies as well, because that was safe. Like, I'm like, they saved me. They're literally life giving. I was like, 4.5 hours, and you've just had lunch, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll just go in for a bit of a wander. It was not a bit of a wander.
No. Yeah, pretty bad experience on the whole. I would
Mm.
argue. Which again, like at the end of the day, I still had a good time, especially in
Yeah,
line looking
yeah,
at King Gambit. But the yeah, it was pretty bad, and I was very
yeah.
like I said it the whole time we were in there. I was like, I don't want to come tomorrow. I
No,
like
no,
I want to
yeah,
make sure that we do not have to come tomorrow. There's
yeah.
no part of me that wants
I
to
th-
use my
I
booking.
I think when we looked at the line for the lottery ticket thing, and I
Mm,
was just like, okay, we can go pay now and come back tomorrow to do the lottery ticket, or do we just do this now? And I'm like, okay, we just have to go through it,
yeah,
because we don't want to come back in and just go through that whole entire process again. So I was like, all right, we're just gotta, dig our heels in and just get through it. And
yeah,
when we did,
yeah,
and we come out with a
yeah,
story.
yeah. We got out. We lived. We
Mm.
survived to the Pokemon Center.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but
I
yeah.
love the tweets afterwards when people are just like, "I survived the Pokemon Center at Worlds."
Yep.
Oh,
Real round zero type beat.
yep.
Um, but anyway, yeah, we go to
Mhm.
bed Wednesday, we get up
Yeah.
Thursday, sort
Thursday,
of
Rego Day.
yeah, day zero of Worlds, you can call it.
Mhm, mhm.
And so we didn't really do anything in the morning, right? Like we kind of just
No, we did a bit of a lazy breakfast, and then I think, yeah, we just took our time getting there, because registration. Oh, actually, you know what we wanted to do? We wanted to go to Play
oh
Lab.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, we did want to do Play Lab.
yeah, and then the
Well, I
line was
really
already
wanted to do Play Lab.
and the line was already really long, and they were cutting people off already,
Yeah.
by the time we were waiting for others to join into Play Lab. But the Rego line was pretty good considering like previous years. It looks really smooth on the competitor. I mean, like for the creator line, it was like nothing, but like
Yeah,
for
yeah. Debbie had a zero line wait.
yeah.
But the competitive thing was kind of interesting. So in
Mhm.
previous years, essentially the spectators and the competitors had to wait in the same queue,
Yes.
which was pretty bad for the spectators,
Mhm.
and the competitors, have a pretty similar wait, but they get their swag at the end, yada yada yada.
Mhm.
This year they actually split the spectators away, so there were actually it
Mm.
was a two-stage process.
Yep.
First was the badge line, and
Mhm.
second was the competitor swag line. And so the badge line was pretty quick because they didn't have to
Yeah.
wait for all of the merch stuff to happen. Because when you actually get the swag, they like physically put stuff into the bag so that you
Mhm.
definitely got it or whatnot.
Yep.
Um, but put a pin in that. Um, and so the actual queue to get your badge for most people is incredibly short. For me, it was
Mhm.
insanely short. Like because we
Mhm.
came quite late in the piece, and so
Mhm.
by the time we got there, no one was really queuing up for the badges.
Yeah.
So it was a very fast process. Hurricane
Mhm.
Kaz was with me because I gave her one of my spectator passes,
Mhm.
and so pretty good. But then you have to get into the swag line, And that was quite a long line. It didn't look
Yeah.
very long, but it just
Mm.
went so slow because they were physically putting stuff into the bag. And
Mm.
like this is where we really started seeing a lot of other people. So like I saw
Mhm.
Z's Wireless in line, Mr. King Gambit
Yeah.
himself, and I
Yes.
was like, King Gambit, man, it might be real. And he looked at me and he was like, it might be real. And you know, it beats the top stuff as long as you
Mhm.
get it on the top stuff and nothing else.
Yep. Yep. Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
I saw Tim Danklin in there.
Yep.
I was in just in front of me in the line were a few guys from Latin America,
Mhm.
and Hurricane Kaz was with me at first because she was just like,
Mhm.
oh, I can just hang in the line until other guys
Mhm.
come around, and then you
Yep.
eventually came back and she
Yeah.
left the line. I think she was talking
Mhm.
to Arrow. She was just,
Mhm.
I'll head off and chat. So I was just in the line of solo.
Mhm.
And these guys from Latin America, like we just got to chatting, and like
Mhm.
one of them was competing in Go, one was just
Mhm.
spectating. We chatted. He was collecting a people's top trainers, not top trainers, like notable trainers, I guess,
Uh-huh.
like favorite Pokemons. Like I traded him a
Uh-huh.
Wailmer,
Mhm.
sort of vibe. And it's like it was a fun line. Like, I didn't have a bad time. It was just again a little bit long, but
Mhm.
not disastrous.
Mhm.
Expected, I think, is the way to put it. It wasn't like a Pokemon Center. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this took 4.5 hours. But
Yeah, it wasn't in a shady car park and like humidity
oh yeah, it was
outside kind of thing,
indoors,
right? It was
which is
all
also
indoors.
it was a nice experience, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
as good as they could do, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, like, well, could they have had 10 times more staff so it would go 10 times quicker? Sure, but I think it was very reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, if I'm being honest, one of the only things I can really give props to TPCI for this event. I was talking to someone yesterday, and I was like, you know what? In a vacuum, if I consider every single individual thing, they
Mm.
were pretty bad. But this was fine. Like
Yeah.
people,
Mm-mm.
if you wanted to complain, you could complain, but I don't think it deserves complaint.
Yeah.
Um,
I was obviously got my stuff early while you were in the snake line. And because you guys were in the snake line, it was really easy to catch people on the edges.
hmm.
So I was like talking to the Australians, I was talking to some others, and I was just like, oh, it was like El Cavisimo. I was like, hi. So by the time it snaked around, I'm like, hi again. Like, so yeah, it was just a good way to catch up with others. And I think the strat of going later in the day to get
Oh yeah,
your registration was a good strat.
yeah, that was definitely the call. So
Yeah.
slight shout out to Gon on that one because he did mention that he went late last year and it was like so easy.
Yeah.
It was definitely the way to go.
Yeah.
And then there were even other, like I saw a guy that I met in a TCG player from South Africa that I watched some of his
Mm.
YouTube videos in the line. That's cool stuff.
I think to note here as well is that if you're ever in a line with Steve, he'll make friends with the people at the front and the back.
What's that supposed to mean?
I mean, we've gone through the Pokemon Center. I mean, like obviously the Latin Americans were there, so
Yeah.
again, you already knew them, so that was fine. But even in the line for getting the ticket for the Bear Walker, you made friends with the people at the front
Oh yeah.
as well. I think they were playing TCG, or one of them was playing TCG, and the
Hmm.
other one was VG. And then again, now in the the competitor backpack line.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just a thing that I picked up. I was like, oh, I'd be very much like, I'd stay to myself. And knowing yourself, he's just like, I'll come back from, my shopping adventures or whatever. And he's already made friends with everyone there. I was like, typical Steve.
I just get
just
bored
a
easy.
just a friendly little dude.
Yeah. I mean, to me, like, I can't take all the credit because a lot of people like talk to me, like the Latin American guys. They were like, "Oh, you're PvP Steve, right?" And I went, yeah. So like a lot of
Mm,
dialogue is headed my way. It's not all my doing of reaching out, but
mm-mm.
I don't know. I think it makes things a lot less
You're
boring.
very approachable.
Sure. We'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get our swag, and
Mm-hmm.
it was actually really hard to follow. So
Mm-hmm.
they sort of tell you like, oh, we're going to put the items in the bag in front of you. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I don't know what's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be in the bag. It's like, as she's putting the plushie in the bag, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, is there supposed to be so then there's this little sheet that's on the table that like lists the items that are supposed to go in. And I
Mm-hmm.
just, like the speed that she's going, and I'm trying to comprehend what is happening. I can't
Mm-hmm.
comprehend. I don't know what's supposed to be in the bag. Maybe I could
Yep.
have researched beforehand, but I guess I didn't think that
Mm-hmm.
I would need to.
Mm-hmm.
But I quickly go like, okay, I can absorb that there's 7 items on this sheet, and I hear a count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
that seems fine then. We're
Yep.
probably
Yep.
fine. And
Mm-hmm.
so, we leave the line. Happy
Mm-hmm.
days.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we head upstairs, we're hanging. This is sort of our first proper hangout with most of the Aussies, I guess, because we all just happen to
Yeah.
be around getting our badges and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And Vish makes a comment about the cards, which are apparently very valuable.
Mhm.
And I go like, oh, I don't think I got any cards. And he's like, what? And so then I go through my bag and I can't find these cards.
Steve's panicking at this point, being
Yeah,
like, I don't have the cards. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have the cards? Like, this is usually a high ticket item. It's very, like, there's a lucrative, like, syndicate about these cards.
yeah. Is like, $1,000 plus type
Yeah.
value on these things. And
Hmm.
it's just like, I just don't have them. And
Hmm.
Debbie, the naive human she was, it was like, oh, you could probably just like go back down. You could say like, hey, I didn't get my cards, and they'll probably give you one. And I was like, oh, Debbie, do you think we live in a world that they could be like, hey, I didn't get my item worth $1,000, and they'll believe you? there's just no
I,
universe.
yes, I believe your words were like, Debbie, there is no universe. They are going to give me cards when I go down there and say that I don't have cards in my backpack and I went through and I can't find them. I'm just like, oh. Because
It's like,
that's my mind process. Like, oh, something happens, or a mishap happens. You go back to them, and then they'll solve it for
yeah.
you.
However, in this scenario, there's a 99.9% chance that I am lying, and I just want a free $1,000.
Yeah,
Not gonna
yeah,
happen.
yeah.
Eventually, it turns out they were like hidden in the hat that was also shoved
Mm,
in there. So hey, we're
mm.
all good.
Yes,
we
yes.
got the cards. Shout out
We
to the
did.
hat. Apparently, just
Hmm.
very good at hiding stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah. So no play lab for us.
Nope.
And what did we even do much else on the Thursday? Really? I mean, was that kind of
Thursday we
we got lunch at IHOP? No, not IHOP.
no, no, no,
At
no, no.
Carl's
We went to
Jr.
Carl's Jr. Was it that
Yeah,
day?
because then we saw the Asian guys.
Oh, you know what happened? Kaz dropped her baggage off. That's why we went a bit later.
Oh, right. Kaz was coming straight to our hotel,
Yeah,
dropping her
yeah, yeah,
bags, and then
yeah,
we went
yeah,
in. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So then we all went to Jack in the Box. I'm pretty sure with the Aussies that night. Um, it was
I kn-
that
uh,
on that Thursday.
well, we went to Carl's Jr. for lunch with Kaz
Yes,
on
but
the way
was that not Friday?
on Friday.
Oh, was that
We were competing
maybe it
that
was?
day.
Oh, maybe it was Thursday then. Yes, then we went to Carl's Jr.
Yeah,
twice.
yeah. We went. I think it was twice in the same day. Like
It
I think we
was.
went for lunch, and then we went for like sort of a late lunch. I guess it was actually sort of two
Yeah.
lunches. It wasn't even dinner. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
went for
yeah. So
early
first time with
lunch
Kaz,
with
and then
Kaz, and then we went
second
again with the
with
Aussies after.
Rick and Z-Tub, and then get crashed by the APAC group.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
including like Fine Panic and Anacor and BJ and others. I was like, oh hi.
yeah.
And then we went to Jack in the Box that night. I'm pretty sure
Yeah, yeah,
with the
yeah.
Aussies. Yeah.
That all rings a bell. So it's
Hmm.
really just a
Hmm.
fast food day outside of that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Fast food day, fast food diet
yeah,
trip.
fast food trip. Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
diet. But there were
Hmm.
there were some little gems in there. I mean, obviously it was nice to see
Hmm.
all of the guys from Asia, the TPC region folks,
Yeah.
and all that.
My favorite bit at Carl's Jr. was the Japanese family that
Mm.
approached you, Rick, and Z-Tub, and they were here for just Disneyland. They weren't here for the Pokemon World Championships, and we were explaining what was happening because they were like, "Oh, you guys have all the backpacks and all the things, and obviously something's happening."
Well,
So,
as we walk in, I saw
mm,
the mum pointing out to the kid like
mm,
I don't remember what shirt I was wearing, but it must have been like a Pikachu shirt or something. And she was
yeah,
like
yeah,
pointing to the kid at like Pikachu, like,
uh huh,
oh,
uh huh,
Pikachu. And it's like,
hmm,
and I don't really know what to do in those scenarios. So I just sort of like,
hmm,
it's like, oh, I can't see that you're pointing at me. That was, let's just, if you want to engage, you can engage. Otherwise, I'm just going to like pretend that I
hmm,
don't see it.
hmm,
Like, but yeah, then they start chatting to us and they're like, oh, like,
hmm,
what's the, we mentioned that we have Pokemon Worlds, and they're like, "Oh, we didn't
hmm,
even know there was Pokemon Worlds." Like the kids
hmm,
are big Pokemon fans, and is
yeah,
that something we can attend? And you're sort of whispering to the side, "I don't think they can attend. I don't think it's way too late to get tickets."
yeah,
But they're for Disney. They weren't really going to go. I think
mm-mm.
you mentioned there's a broadcast they can watch if they want.
Yeah.
But yeah, they end up. I think the mum sort of pressures the kids into it.
The kids were
um,
hiding behind the parents. I was just like,
yeah, they're just kind of shy.
yeah, very shy kids.
But yeah, the mum was like, "Oh, like you should get a photo with these guys. Like, one of them could be the world champion
Yeah,
this
yeah.
weekend." So, so I think you've got like the side shot.
Yeah, the side shot.
Yeah, but
Very cute. So yeah, that was really nice. I was like, oh, future world champion, yeah. Like, it's there. Some Japanese family has it framed up in their house now. Just you, Rick, and Zeta.
yep,
Hmm.
funny.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
But
So that
yeah,
was
quick tier list
Thursday.
update. I guess Carl's Jr.
Mm,
pretty good.
pretty good.
Not awesome, pretty good.
Do you so we've had Jack in the Box, Carl's Jr. and Taco Bell at this point. Would you say it's in that order?
Jack in the Box, Carl's Jr., Taco Bell. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
I think that Carl's Jr. I got the star shaped nuggets. They were fine, nothing that good. The
Did you
Jack in
get
the
the
Box,
star? Did you actually end up getting the star one? Because I thought you said it
yeah.
were a bit more expensive.
No, no, no. That was waffle fries versus regular fries.
Oh, right,
I
right.
got regular fries.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um, yeah, I think the Jack in the Box chicken tenders were pretty good.
mm-hmm,
That was my take.
mm-hmm,
Um, and yeah, we had dinner with the Aussies, hung out a
mm-hmm,
little bit,
mm-hmm.
and that was kind of it,
Yeah,
really.
couple of boys got some ice cream at Joe's,
Hmm.
and then we said like, yep, all right, early night, everyone to bed. Big day tomorrow, day
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
competition day, baby.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So this was we haven't really talked about it at all on this podcast, I suppose, in
mm-hmm.
my lead up to the World Championships because it was sort of only in the last 2 weeks, and we haven't really recorded anything in that time. I think the last episode we recorded was talking to Rick Flareon, and
Yeah,
there's no need to fill that with how am I looking at worlds or whatever shenanigans.
we had your episode.
Yeah, yeah, we did. So I entering the World Championships was I think I made a tweet that was something on the lines of if I can't win this tournament with skill, then maybe I can win it with luck.
Mm-hmm.
And so I built the most RPS team that has ever been brought to the World Championships.
Yeah.
It's like if I can just beat 9 opponents in a row, if I can guess their lines 9 matches in a row, I will be the Pokemon World Champion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so it's a team with Bastiodon, Wigglytuff, Talonflame, Gastrodon, Shadow Annihilate, and the last pick wasn't necessarily an RPS pick. It could be seen as one in certain matchups, but
Mm-hmm.
otherwise it is better known as the number one used Pokemon in the World Championships, and that was Credilli.
Mm-hmm.
Just to round things up, give a bit more ground coverage. And I've
Mm-hmm.
actually I finished the script for the YouTube video this morning, and I sort of
Uh-huh.
like broke down a little bit of like how the team flows a little bit.
Yes.
But the short answer is just that I've got some hard check for everything. that's
Yes. Yes.
that's basically how it's built.
I yeah, I like everyone, once a video comes out, I'm sure it'd be great. It's just like obviously from me seeing behind the scenes, and you've got pages and pages and pages
I
of
mean, they're here
all your
because
match. Yeah. Of all your matchups, like you're going through them on the plane, the 14-hour flight there, the night before. I did take some photos of you um with your notes on the bed, just kind of like going through it. I'm just like, although an RPS team, you were ready.
yeah, I mean, there's some point where because I don't have the inherent knowledge that a lot of other players do, in
Mm,
terms of like, I'm sort of building from ground zero, whereas like a lot of other guys have like base knowledge of how these matchups tend to go. Like,
yes.
you might be able to ask someone like a top battler, like, oh, how does Wigglytuff play into Bastiodon?
Mm,
Which that's a matchup that turns out was basically impossible to happen. But like, they'll be able to tell you how the shield scenarios go, whether there's a way to
yes.
play out of it, whether like, oh,
Yes.
if you've got Gastrodon into this matchup, you should actually
Mm,
not throw a charge move. That sort of like
mm,
base knowledge that they've gained over years and years of Pokemon Go PvP. I didn't have
yes.
any of that. I was sort of building from ground up. So I'd sort of had
Mm,
to learn all the matchups straight. So there
mm-hmm,
was a lot of knowledge to gain
mm-hmm.
to work even an RPS team. So I
Yeah.
was certainly putting work in at the very least to know
Mm-hmm,
what I can win
mm-hmm.
and what I can't, when I can swap into something to win the 2 shields to win swap,
Mm-hmm.
which felt like important stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And I think that particular night with the Aussies, that's when the bracket was also kind of released, or at least like the
hmm.
um the
The
yeah,
groups.
the groups. So I think he kind of like was like, oh, okay, I might be paired against this person. Let me have a look at their gameplay, because it was a Korean player that has, there's some footage of like the Korean playoffs at some point. And you're like, okay, I need to start simming these and seeing how to go. So Steve missed a lot of the opening ceremony.
Yeah, so we walk into the World Championships, like, there's all the staff
Mm,
clapping, whatever.
I love it. I always love that bit.
You get we sort of it was obviously very packed. It wasn't very.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just poor memory, because it might be,
Mm-hmm.
but in my
Mm-hmm.
head, I feel like there was less space compared to the number of people that were there this time compared to the others, in that it felt
Yeah.
really hard to sort of find somewhere to watch the opening ceremony. That was just
Uh,
my take. I don't know if that's
we were
it might be
also like,
inaccurate.
I think we also, previous years we were there early.
Yeah, we were there
Um,
earlier in the past, which is true.
yeah.
So that
Whereas
that
this
that might
time
be
we were,
fair.
and this time I was like, oh well, I know that if we get there early, we probably would get a seat and everything. But I was also like, well, this year you're a competitor, so we don't have to get there early. If anything, like, take the time, get in when you're ready to get in, because
Mm.
you're going to be straight competing. So I wasn't like, oh, well, we need to get a seat. It was more like, all right, we'll get there when we get there.
Mm. Yeah, in some sense, like in the past where we've both been there as creators, it's been our goals have been a little more aligned, I suppose.
Mm-mm.
Whereas this time was a little bit more like my goals didn't necessarily align with your goals, and
Mm.
in my head, I was like, "Look, Friday, I'm more important. This is, this for this first half of the day, like I'm following whatever my priorities are for the, it's
Mm-hmm.
competition day. It's go
Yeah,
time, I
and
guess."
I totally understood that. I picked up what you were putting down. I was
Mm,
like, okay, cool. Like, like I dedicated pretty much that entire morning to you, as in, I was like, okay, I got to film what I got to film. I've got to, like, my camera, like, footage was all basic. Like, I didn't, like, there was other things that was happening. I'm like, no, I have to be here. Like, Steve's playing. Like, I took some photos and some other things of some of the other Australians, and obviously the broadcast I haven't even seen any day one broadcast, because I didn't even sit until afterwards,
mm,
because I saw nothing of it, because I was like, okay, let's get as much footage or as much you need for your content as well, on top of your gameplay. And I was hoping that you would get to day two and proceed on, but it was a very tough world bracket for everyone.
uh, I I partially disagree in that I truly
I'm trying
believe
to
that.
give you credit here.
No, I reject it hard. I think that my bracket was one of the, if not, I haven't looked at all of them in depth, but it
Yeah.
felt like one of the, and I was talking to Colin's brother, because we were both in this bracket, and we were both kind of like, when we met each other in the car park the day before, being like, we're probably in one of the easiest, if not the easiest bracket of the entire World Championships,
Mm-mm.
partially because we were both in it. but like we were sort of really like, I would prefer to be in this one than like any of the other ones. So I think that ours is pretty reasonable on the whole.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, you're right. As the opening ceremony stands behind it, I don't know if you have like, because I know you were recording the opening ceremony. I don't,
Yeah.
and you were standing like behind me. I don't know if in
Correct.
any of your footage I was like blocking the shot or
No.
anything. Well, I was
Well,
just like,
I couldn't see the stage anyway, so I
yeah, you
was
were just the
purely recording
screen.
from the screens,
Yeah.
and just kind of vibes around, and they were setting up the Go station, and I was just
Mm.
kind of filming a little bit of that, and that was pretty much it. Like,
Yeah.
if anything, it was like conversations between you and Marcus.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Arceus Aurelius were having a nice chin wag.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, once the opening ceremony was going, where in the past I've been sitting there, like, taking it all in, watching it unfold,
Mm-hmm.
I was just sitting there, head down, doing PV poke sims of like, how much does a brave bird from Talonflame do to Clodsire? It was just,
Yeah, yeah.
that's all I was doing.
While like they're singing their songs, and like, just beyond, and like good game and everything, and Steve's just like PV poke and pick, but like it was such bad reception in that section as well. So I don't know how you even. Oh, you probably
Oh,
had the tab
PV Poke's
open.
fine. But honestly,
Yeah,
shout out PV Poke. It's the goated website of all time, not only because of what it accomplishes, but the fact that as long as you have the page loaded, it just works, even like
uh,
offline. It's so awesome.
yeah,
So
yeah,
insanely awesome.
yeah. I know I
Um,
always talk about, like, supporting Steve on his Patreon, but someone to actually, like, if you want to put your dollars and money like somewhere, definitely like look at PB Poke's Patreon.
yeah.
Just even if you've got a few, just to pop it there. He does amazing work.
Oh, yeah. And good for him that he isn't on X, the everything app anymore. but it is like you think you have less of exposure to the person these days as well, because I don't think he's on any social media anymore.
No, I think it's just purely on Discord, so
yeah.
you can send him like a DM, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I hope he's happy. I hope he's enjoying life away from social media.
Very peaceful.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I compete, like I'm starting at 9 a.m. I'm in one of the first two groups.
Group
And my first
B.
opponent, what? Oh
Group
yeah, Group
B.
B, Group B. So I'm up against Awesome, and I don't actually know, because he's got like this series of like I's and L's after that, which obviously is just made to confuse anyone and make it impossible to actually type it without like trying to just copy paste it. So I don't know exactly what his name is after that, but he came third in the South Korean playoffs.
Which is no easy feat. South Korea is a very, very hard area to.
And he only lost to the two finalists. I mean, which makes sense: Charming Pori and Charming Poem. And I think Charming Poem, who came second, he actually beat the first time round as well. He lost in the winners finals and then losers finals, I think. But very, very strong battler. But I had seen some footage, and so I did know a little bit of his play style. But and again, we've sort of Debbie, a shout out to Debbie for putting some time in as well. I've tried to recreate my battles from Worlds best I can, like as one-to-one, turn-by-turn as possible. Games 1 and game 2, I think, are potentially like, well, game 1 definitely is like spot on. I think it's like game 2 actually, I think, is pretty spot on as well. Game 3, something's gone wrong. I'm not sure what happened, but it's close enough.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. And so, like, if you want to see my literal Worlds battles, I guess they'll be on YouTube eventually, whenever this Worlds video happens. But the short story is that I end up going 1-2. In the very first game, I'm not disputing, but in my head, I couldn't figure out why a game went the way it did. I was like, wait, I was ahead. How did this happen? And I had to like call a judge over so I could rewatch the footage to be like, oh, he got an extra counter here. I see.
Yeah. Because that is a new rule. So if you want to rewatch your footage, a judge has to be there.
Which is so annoying. Let me just
so you
say,
can't
just
just
so annoying.
you can't just go back and rewatch your footage. Like you have to have a judge there. So if you are caught doing that, it could be a game loss. So that is one of the new rules that was put into the Play Pokemon handbook recently.
Yeah, which I know there are some anecdotes regarding other competitors watching footage from the phones, but we're not snitching on anyone here. It would be
okay.
Even though
I was about to drop names. I was ready.
I say this now because I know Debbie has a funny story, but we can't share the funny story because it would well, let's say it would be about someone breaking the rules. So alas, ask us in person, I guess.
That's all right. That's going in the bank. That'll come in handy one day.
Oh, is that right? She's on blackmail duty.
Look, I may look nice and innocent now.
Oh man. But yeah, round 1, I ended up losing to Awesome 1-2, which they were pretty close, to be honest with you. I thought that I was about to win game 3. And I was like, oh,
it looks really good. And then I saw at the end, I was like, unfortunate.
Yeah. I thought I was going to get the win, but tiny little bit of health, unfortunately. And then I go straight to losers round 2. So I skip losers round 1, which importantly means no last place at Worlds, baby. Yo, guaranteed 129. It's so easy.
Yeah. Just, Durban, Johannesburg. Auckland.
Hey, Auckland was real. Come on. Don't tell me Auckland. What do you mean?
It was real.
And then I am up against Diarchus from Mexico. When I first read his name, I thought it was Deacus. But then when I was talking to the Mexicans and I was like, oh, I was up against Deacus, they were like, huh? And then eventually, like, you see the gears turning. And then Rocha Baby says, I think he hits Ash and he's like, oh, Diarchus. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know. But he placed second in Bogota this season. And then I think he's only played for 3 tournaments. I was looking at it this morning. He came second, he came 9th in one, and then the other one was like still like 17th or something. So it was like a pretty solid run. And that time he came second, he went like 10-2. So I was like, oh, this is a serious. He only lost to the winner, which was Richie. Serious guy. But again, I was running an RPS team, so it didn't really matter how good he was. It just mattered how the lineups went. And unfortunately for me, I ended up going 1-2 again. They were were they close battles? I haven't thought about them yet because we
One
haven't
of them was
recreated them
not
yet.
close, but I think the other two were.
Yeah, I think my win was pretty solid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that one I was like, oh, that looks like really because I'm filming from behind Steve and then watching it at the same time. So my hand is here, but like my eyes are better than my camera. So I was like,
Hmm.
ah, cool.
Yeah, in
So yeah.
retrospect, I think you probably should have filmed on your phone because I think that actually would have had better zoom and you would have found we watched that a little easier, probably.
I
Um,
just don't have like it doesn't have stabilization. So on my phone. So it means it would have been like shaky cam.
I mean, that's
Whereas
fine, I guess. I feel like
well,
it would have been easy to watch still. But anyway, you're able to
mm,
watch it. But yeah, I mean, I
yeah.
was intentionally like holding my phone out to the left so that it was
Yeah.
easier to be like viewed from behind, so that
Yeah.
Debbie could get the footage.
It was just
Um,
really rough because there's lots of people walking by as well. So yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Anyway,
haven't looked yet, but I'm sure it's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah. So I ended up going 0-2 essentially, or two. I
Mm-hmm,
get
mm-hmm,
as good of an 0-2 as you could get because it was a
mm-hmm.
1-2 followed by a 1-2,
1, 2, 1, 2.
including a loses round 2 skip.
Let's go.
So at the end of the day, like I was never
Mhm.
gonna win worlds. I had a good time as
That's
well.
no,
Like,
I always believed.
oh yeah, I bet.
Mhm,
I think I think like when I lost in Gdansk, like I felt
mhm,
bad because I was like, I should have done better
mm.
than that. But here,
Yes.
when I lost, I was like, yeah, this checks out.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think I
Uh,
really held any negative emotion at all, really.
that's the kind of vibes that I got from most of the Aussies. Like that they were like when they got eliminated, they were like, "Yeah, I did what I could." That was it was very much a acceptance kind of frame. I mean, there was one or two people that were like, like I didn't, do well in
Mm,
that first match or whatever. But like the consensus that I kind of got was like, yeah, okay.
maybe.
Or the ones I talk to, maybe they're hiding their feelings. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you talked to some very specific ones,
Hmm.
perhaps. But
Yeah.
yeah. So and like in the sense, because I went at the start of the day, which is awesome. I was
Hmm.
also quite happy to then be done in terms of like,
Mm.
okay. Like if I was playing at 4 p.m., for example, I would still be
Hmm.
like PV poke simming all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
was quite happy to sort of essentially get it out of the
Yeah.
way early. That was pretty nice.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, I was done by what 11:30 because I had to wait for losers round 2 to eventually come up. So
Yeah. It was
um,
before 12 o'clock for
yeah, it was
sure.
before 12 o'clock. So
Yeah.
I was pretty happy on the whole. Now, in
Mm-hmm.
saying that, because I talked to a lot of players from the other games as the weekend went on, would I prefer that we played Swiss so I'd actually get to play out more games? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's no ability to do a Wolfie Glick and go down 2 games and then like sweep all the way up till day 2 after
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Not that that's what I would have done, but I would have liked to
You
have
never
got more
know.
games in.
You never
Like,
know.
you never know. Again, I was playing a luck strategy, not a skill strategy,
Exactly.
so it was all
Exactly.
possible.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would have liked to play more games. I would have,
Hmm.
from a competitor experience, I would have liked Swiss.
Yes.
But it is what it is.
I mean,
Maybe eventually.
you got a taste for Swift the next day.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Speaking of TPCI, poor organization bits from a Worlds,
we'll get
unfortunately,
there. We'll get there.
we'll get there. Yeah.
We'll get to day two. But yeah, day one. After you finished up, I think we somehow got lunch. I can't remember now. Oh, we went to try to go look at the taco trucks or like the trucks outside, and they were very expensive.
Oh yeah.
And I was just kind of like, no, I'm not having a bar of this. And we ended up sitting on the floor somewhere,
Yep.
and just going through my snack pile.
Yep.
And then I think we just hung around. We were watching a little bit. I think we tried to do Play Lab and it was already like booked out again. And we're like,
Yeah.
okay, I think Play Lab is off the list now. To
Yeah. Yeah.
try and get that done. I think we went for a little bit of a wander around. I went up to the lounge to get some Mercro pins to pass around. As a creator, like we were. Given the option to pass around Mercro pins as part of the pin rally that was happening around Worlds this year. So you could collect all these, I suppose you can call it exclusive pins that had the silhouettes of the particular Pokemon for the theme of Anaheim. So there was like a Fennekin, a Chespin, a Froakie, a Toadschool. I'm sure I'm missing one. And then, yeah, Mercury was the content creator one. So it was kind of cool that people just kind of looked at my badge and was like, have you got any pins? It's like, yes, you will need to trade me something for them. So yeah, and it was really surprising some of the pins I got because some of them were like fresh, like they were fresh out of the packet. I'm like, are you sure you want to get rid of this? And they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the only pin I'm missing. Like the Mercury pin was the only one that was left, and unfortunately, some people started scalping them outside. So then we were told, going, okay, we can only do pin training inside the convention center, and if you do give the pins out, please remove the plastic as well. So then it's not like a a sealed kind of thing. That and some of the eBay listings I think I saw recently, they were like 70 Australian dollars up for the Mercury pin. Which is I think is ridiculous. It's meant to be something lovely and wholesome, and I really had some really good experiences doing the pin trading as well. So I really hope they do that again because it was a lot of fun. I think, like I said about your face being approachable, I think I also have a similar face because I was like, I got approached by like, three old ladies that were just like, "Oh, do you have any pins left?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I've got pins. Have you got pins to trade me?" And one traded me a pin, and the other ones didn't have pins left, and they were like, "We don't have any pins," and I'm like. They're like, please. I was like, I can't say no to the old ladies. And I remember telling one of the staff members later, I was just like, I gave the pins to the old ladies. Like, they could be scalper old ladies. I was just like, no, I feel the scalping.
Yep.
And I did tell them, when I gave them the pins, you promised me you won't sell these. They promise. What if they broke the promise, Steve?
Greatest scalpers of all time.
Oh, they knew. They looked at me and they're like, she's weak. But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. And yeah, day one, and then what else did we do day one? Oh, day one was Friday, so we had our private dinner that evening, as well, where I learnt what a lemonade was.
Yep.
Because yeah, in Australia, if you want to grab a lemonade, it's a Sprite. So when I was just like, oh, I'll just get I was thinking a lemonade. I'll get a Sprite. No, it is the most sugar laden thing ever. Sugar and lemon juice, and it was crazy sweet that I had like 2 sips and I was like, I can't have any of this. And I ended up giving it to like Lando Alpha, and he was like, he drank about half of it and he's like, it's a bit tart. I'm like, how can you even taste the tartness? It is pure sugar in here. And then he gave up on the drink as well. So I thought that was funny. And then we were trying to find Pikachu raids. Me. Every time there was a Pikachu raid, I'm like, all right, I'm going outside to go to a Pikachu raid. Who wants to come and half the crew game with me?
Yep.
I did see it on the latest trainer tips video. I was like, hey, that's my hand. So yeah, that was Friday because yeah.
Where did we get dinner on Friday?
We didn't. It was just basically the private dinner bit,
Oh, wait.
and then well, I got fries / chips, and then we
Yeah.
just kind of had that. And I asked if you wanted to get more food, and you were like, nah. And then
Where did we go from there? Did we just go back to the hotel?
Back to the hotel.
Yeah.
We went to the Hilton because I needed to grab my bag of Ditto items, and then we went back to the hotel.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Did I? I'm good. I must have eaten something because
you had some fries.
Yeah,
that I ordered.
I would have been a hungry guy.
You were very hungry, and I was like, we can get food, and you were like, nah, there's breakfast tomorrow. And I was like, what level of stinge are we at now?
Well, I think in my head, I think you were very tired, and I was like, because there was also a social that night, and I was like, I think we kind of just have to go.
Did we? Yeah, because we didn't end up going to the social.
No, because you had to Uber there.
Yeah. And then the Aussies had their own thing as well, that I think a few people went, but not everyone went. But yeah, then we went back to the hotel. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that was day one. Day one done and dusted.
Yep. And then day two, we weren't in a major rush, I suppose.
No, we were respectively signing up to respective tournaments. You
Yes.
were signing up for the TCG Pocket tournament, and I was signing up for the Sisterhood tournament.
Yeah.
That was later in the day. I had two things on that Saturday, and one was the Go Artists autograph session. So finally, met someone like Jason Marino. Very, very big fan of his. He does the most of the time the loading pages in Pokemon Go artwork. And then I had another artist signing session with Shimaris, which in the latest White Flare Black Bolt TCG did the Dwebble card. So I got two posters signed that day, which I was like stoked about as someone that has a bit of an art history. I was just like, and I dragged Kaz along to the Go one as well because she actually wanted to. She applied for the lottery for that one and she didn't get it. And I reread the email, and the email said like, "Oh, you can bring a friend or a child, but you only get one autograph." And she was like, "Yeah, I'm totally okay with that." Like, she just wanted to meet them because Kaz is an awesome artist as well. So that was really, really big for her. But the line was so short. Like, as in, there was only 10 people in line. So I don't know what happened, whether people just like selected it and was just like, I can't be bothered going, or I'm still competing or whatever. I was just like, they should have opened this up for other people because, like I said, like Kaz wanted it. She didn't get in the lottery. And if I didn't bring her along, she would have missed out. But yeah, that was my bit where you were in the midst of what 150 players or something like that.
177.
77. Wow.
Yeah. So this is I sort of wanted to do this back at NAIC. They had a side tournaments for TCG Pocket at NAIC. But at Worlds they were sort of hosting the TCG Open. So you had to bring 2 decks with different Pokemon in each, and you had to get a win with each of them. So it's kind of like a best of 3, but it's a little bit different because you have to get a win with each before your opponent gets a win with each of theirs. And I have never played a ranked game of TCG Pocket in my life. And it showed. So, I signed up with one deck that Pogo Ash had actually given us, given me while we were on stream one time. Yes. And then another deck that I think was just one of the rental decks with
That's what they're there for.
Crobat. And let's just say I didn't expect it to take up as much of my Saturday as it ended up doing. So basically we sit down, and again, this was anyone that competed in side events that I spoke to talked about how chaotic were, how poorly run they were, how it was a bit of a nightmare.
Correct. Even my end was, yes.
Yeah. And that was absolutely the case for this pocket one. So we woke up in the morning. Your tournament isn't until the afternoon. Mine's like sort of 10 a.m.
2 o'clock.
So it's like first thing. So we get there with like 9:30 and kind of standing around like, where do I go? Like there's no earmarked spot to attend. There's no information about where you're supposed to go. The hall's really large. There's a lot of tables that are dedicated to side events. Jamathy was around and he was looking for the Switch tournament for Pokemon Go. That was also somewhere. And he talked, and I was sort of next to him when he talked to one of the staff members. He asked, like, where do I go for the Switch tournament? And the staff member said, oh, go back there, behind there, and you'll see it. As we found out, the staff was giving him very incorrect directions. He was directing him to the Switch demo, which are not the Switch tournament for Pokemon Go, as it turns out. So then, we keep walking around the venue trying to find where this tournament is supposed to be. We're trying to find where Jamathy was allegedly pointed towards. Nothing back that way. We head to the side events table. And they're sort of like, I don't know. Just wait for an announcement, I guess. And 10 a.m. hits, and then finally like, okay, if you're playing in this tournament, go. I think it's after 10 a.m. to be honest. Like if you're playing in this tournament, go here. And we get there. And this is where I don't even think I'm not sure if I've told you about how this went, Debbie. But the chaos continued hard from this point on. So I spoke to the first staff member and they gave me like a deck list. So you have to handwrite what your deck is twice, one for your competitors, one for the staff. You. Just like the olden days. That's how we did it in like 2022 season. For
the
regionals.
Olden days.
Yeah, the olden days.
How old are you? No, olden days.
Back in my day. And so they tell you, and I saw Pogo Ash as well, and we sat down,
Yes.
had a chat.
Mhm.
And the staff member tells us, okay, you just put the Pokemon you're using down, the Pokemon in your deck,
Mhm.
nothing else. Like
Mhm.
all the training
Mhm.
cards, item cards, you leave them off, just the Pokemon. And in
Yep.
some sense, the logic there is because it's only the Pokemon that you can't have the same one in your two different decks. Like, all right, fair enough.
Mhm.
So we
Mhm.
fill out the sheets. While I'm filling out the sheets with these Pokemon, they announce round one has started. Go to your table. So I'm like, oh heck.
Yeah.
And I'm like
Yeah.
mad scrolling because I have to fill it all out
Mhm.
twice. And it's like, okay, I've got written
Mhm.
all the Pokemon down. I move to my table, wish Pogo Ash luck, off we go. I
Mhm.
sit down, and then a staff member sort of yells out in like the space is much too large for the area that he was yelling from. I think he went to two
Yes.
different spots to yell it, but he was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, you actually have to put the items and trainers on the staff sheet. And it's like, okay,
Okay.
right on. So fill out,
Mhm.
like, edit the sheet, fill it on the staff
Mhm.
one. Okay.
Mhm.
Then there's another announcement. Again, that is yelling. It's not over
Yep.
the loudspeaker or anything.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, you actually have to put it on both sheets. It's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So fill
Yep.
out the other sheet as well. Okay, we get started. We play.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I'll tell this slightly out of order because then, as it turned out, later on in the tournament, you sit down for
Mhm.
round three. You've sort of moved tables. The winners move
Mhm.
towards one side. The losers move towards the other. And
Mhm.
all of a sudden, it's very clear that not everyone got all of the instructions. In fact, entire sections of the competitors had completely different instructions that they were running off of. So in round three, I remember sitting down, and the guy to my right, his opponent was like, "Man, where are all of the trainer cards and stuff?" And he was like,
Mm.
"Oh, that was only on the staff sheet, wasn't it?" And he was like, "No." And then round four, I sit down again, and someone else is like, he didn't have the items or trainers on either sheet. He never wrote any of it. He just wrote the Pokemon because that's the only instruction that he
He
heard, he was
received.
given.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just an absolute nightmare on that front. And all of the staff
Mhm.
had different information on how the tournament was supposed to go. They didn't all know. And I say all of the staff, but
Mhm.
Debbie,
Mhm.
at least by round four, I don't know how many were
Uh-huh.
at the start, not a lot, but by like round
Uh-huh.
4 or 5, there were
Uh-huh.
only 2 staff working the event. This 177-person tournament, there were
Ah.
2 single staff.
Yeah.
One guy like clearly was like the head guy, and then another guy was sort
Mhm.
of I guess you could call him the floor judge. But my gosh, it was a disaster. One of my rounds, I had a
Oh.
no show, and
Yes,
you
I
were
remember
there
that.
for this. I was
Yeah.
sitting down, and I say, hey, no show, and then you wait
Uh-huh.
5 minutes, you get a game one win. You wait
Mhm.
another 5 minutes, game two win.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So I sit there, and they tell me like, okay, like put one of the judges tells me, put your hand up after 5 minutes. We'll
Mhm.
cool,
Yep.
whatever, sounds good.
Yes.
And
Uh-huh.
so 5 minutes passes. I put my
Mhm.
hand up,
Mhm.
and eventually, judge comes over, and he's
Mhm.
like, "Oh yeah, it's been 5 minutes. You get a game one win." But then
Mhm.
I get told, "Don't put your hand up. Like we have your table written down.
Yep.
Um, you don't need to put your hand up. We'll come to you."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "All right."
Mhm.
Another 5 minute passes. It's cool. I
Mhm.
get my game two win, and then I'm just
Mhm.
sitting there waiting, and I'm watching the judge like
Mhm.
have to snake through like this 177-person tournament, and
Yeah.
he's dealing with issues and like disputes and stuff that are going on,
Yeah.
like game crashes,
Uh-huh.
whatever else, while
Uh-huh.
also trying to deal with the however many, there were a lot of no shows, with all of the no
Yeah.
shows going on as well.
'Cause people just
And
left. Like, I would be bored as.
yeah, well, I was sitting like I was literally there for like 20 minutes just
Mm.
waiting for this, waiting to eventually be given my second no show win.
'Cause I'm like, as probably already mentioned earlier, but like I'm very much like, oh, I have a problem. I'll tell someone and they
Oh
should
yeah.
solve it. So like when Steve's just saying like, no, 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 don't ask them. They told me not to ask them. I'm like, nah, I'm going up to them. And I'm like, he's been waiting for so long.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh yeah, yeah. And then they got distracted with another like, dispute. So I was
Yeah,
still
that it
like,
didn't even work because there was
yeah,
so
yeah,
much
yeah,
else to do.
yeah, yeah.
It was truly just a nightmare scenario. But that isn't the end of it,
Mm,
because
mm,
throughout this tournament, they announced like, okay, it's going to be 45-minute rounds. It's like,
mm.
oh yikes, 8 rounds, 45 minutes each. That's a big
Yep.
chunk of my day. I did not think it would go this late.
Mm-hmm.
Little did I know, trainers. Little did I know that round one finish up
Mm-hmm.
pretty quickly. I got
Yeah.
absolutely stomped in my first round, like
Mm-hmm.
completely decimated. I got the worst luck on planet Earth, and he got everything he needed. He destroyed me.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I do
Sounds
have
like.
all of the footage, so I'll probably make a PvP Josh video later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it was really quick. Like I was probably out of there
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
He was a nice
Yeah.
guy as well. He gave me this little I don't have it with me. Oh wait, it's in my luggage. He gave me this little, I guess, souvenir from Chile, where he's from. And he was like,
Mm.
"Oh, that's really nice."
Something that I did pick up and that I would like to do starting in the new season onwards is that little tokens and little things after you play a match, like a, thanks for playing with me, GG's, like a little thing. I was like, oh, that's really, really quite nice. I
Yeah,
might look into that for, next, whenever I compete.
yeah.
Mm.
Fair. I mean, that's what this guy was doing. Yeah, it was that sort of thing
Mm.
where he had all of this stuff from
Yeah.
Chile. He was
Yeah.
playing in, I think, TCG the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I'm waiting around because I'm like, oh, round two's only going to be in like 30 minutes. I can wait.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
30 minutes passes. Another 30 minutes passes. We're still just standing around. It's like, what is going on? I actually have a photo of, they had this sheet that like, round one ends at X time, round two ends at, and this was sort of the predicted time, I guess. So at the start
Yeah.
of the round, they would write down like, okay, they wrote down the time. It was 45 minutes later on.
Mm-hmm.
You can roughly guess from this. So round one took about an hour.
Right.
It's 45
Yeah.
minutes thing, which is like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
that's not,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not a
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
disaster,
It's not. Yeah. It's not terrible.
not the end of the world.
Uh-huh.
And every round ended up taking an hour, which meant that it was an 8-hour tournament,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
And it was just like you would finish your match, it would take 10 to 15 minutes. I realized that I could just leave, go to the go area, just keep refreshing my RK9 until the next matchup is there.
Yeah.
And then go, oh, I have a match. Go across the convention center back to my seat.
And then sit down and play.
And then sit down, play for another 10 minutes, and then walk away again.
Come back again, yeah.
It was baffling, really. It was just so weird.
I thought it was so funny because I'm just like, oh, you're done. And you're like, no, I'm still in it. And like that you would be in the go area. Like, you're taking photos by the time I played my sisterhood tournament.
Yeah.
That you were there. I was just like, oh, he must be done. Maybe he's got eliminated. No. It was just in between rounds.
Yep. I spent more time in the go area than I spent in the tournament area.
Yeah.
It was
like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I see what has happened.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think they set the little sheet says that round 8 ends at 5:47 p.m. which I played all the way to the end.
You did.
I didn't expect to. I didn't plan to, but I did.
Yeah.
And I played. They were very nice, by the way. Like all of the I think Go has a bit of a reputation, at least in our circles, of being like quite nice compared to the other games. The poker tournament was something else. It was like a step above. It was like everyone was lovely. One of my opponents, I couldn't connect to the internet. Like my internet just wasn't working. It wouldn't let me into the app.
Yeah.
And my opponent hotspotted me. I was like, oh, that's so nice. In saying that, my next opponent was like, oh yeah, one of my opponents had like a game issue earlier, lost, which is he got a game lost, which is the rules.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm glad I didn't need a hotspot against you. This would not have worked. But yeah, it was like the people were lovely. I played against One Show, Primetime TV, one of the TCG casters. And I actually feel bad because like in the lead up to the round, well, actually at the end of the previous round, he was like, we were chatting and he was like, I'm probably going to drop, go hang out with the family.
Yeah, because he's got his wife and kids that came
who were
all
also
the way over
competing
as well.
the day before.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, he was like, hey, if I match against you, I'll drop. And I was like, hey, I'll take it. Round pairings come up. I matched against him out of the 100 and however many people that were still around. I was like, oh, of course, all people. And so we sit down and I'm like, we can play it out, man. I'll be a very easy opponent. Like this will be quick for you. And he's like, we can play it out.
Yeah.
But I got like the best luck I'd gotten all tournament. And so I was one of those guys that was like, oh, I'm really easy. I'm so bad at this game, and then beat him. And it was like, I just got lucky. I swear.
Where was this luck when you needed it in Go in day one? It's all in pocket in day two.
Apparently, but I did feel bad because I was like, oh, that's such a. I hate people that do that sort of thing.
I've become what I wasn't, like whatever.
It wasn't skill. I wasn't sandbagging my skill. I just got really lucky.
I'm sure there's a Batman movie about this.
No. But it is what it is. I guess. But yeah, that was the poker experience, which again, side tournaments weren't done. I think that it was all understaffed is the bottom line. And no one had full information. All of the staff were clearly trying their best, but
Yes, yes,
there just
yes.
wasn't. My take from my experience was that
Hmm.
there was not enough support from TPCI in organizing the tournament for them to run well. Whether it was underestimating demand, which is perhaps a frequent occurrence in when it comes to Pokemon, and perhaps isn't
Mm.
underestimating. Perhaps it is knowledge of the underestimate.
Mm.
um, when it comes to even supply of like TCG cards in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt like there was some cost cutting that unfortunately impacted the experience from
Yeah.
side
I mean,
decks.
like, mine wasn't as eventful as yours when it came to the side tournament,
It
but
wasn't as long.
well, I didn't play all of it. That's the thing.
Oh, true, true.
The Sisterhood tournament, everyone was told to go to the side event area. So we were all in the side event area. We waited for
Yep,
the intercom to say, like, okay, go Sisterhood tournament, come to whatever. Um, so eventually, basically, we were gathered there, and then we had to go to the go area. So the green tables where you were competing in day one.
yep,
Now, we had some people that just wanted to enter in the tournament that were not like PvP in like the circles. So within the circles, I could just always like, hey, Rocket Clear, where do I go, kind of thing, right? Whereas some people don't have that connection or network, so we actually lost people from the walk from the side tournament to the green tables because I didn't know where the green tables were because they were just there for a fun side tournament. So I think there was lots of like people that got like at least 3 players that were
mm,
signed up for it that had turned up on the yellow tables that never made it to the green tables. Um, so we already lost a few women there, and then Ali T, the username, she was the judge for our tournament, and she was so apologetic. She was like, I'm so sorry how poorly run this is." I'm like, girl, it's fine. Like you're with the crew. Like it's like we know her, we know the Go crew. It's like we're not stressed. Like run it when you can. Like I know your resources are limited, and I think it was from like RK9 and trying to get it into Tom because the RK9 system wasn't working, so they couldn't spit out the the match slips and the thing. So it ended up going manually writing it in, making sure who's here
yep.
to go on to Tom and then just spit it out. And yeah, and I did tell her going, look, I've signed up for it. If I can play one match, I'm happy. I've got to go for like a TCG card signing at like at 3:30, and the tournament was meant to start at 2, and I think we only played game 1 at 2:30. And like Kaz and I were just who I was paired against. Luckily I was paired against Kaz as well. That we were just, well, first team was the greatest team in the world that you and Rick made for me in the morning. And then she was running auto rec, so I felt bad. So I thought I'd run auto rec as well, and then she smashed me in auto rec. So then
Should
she
have
won
kept
that one.
Basti, bro.
I should have kept the Basti, the Gastrodon, and the Annihilate team.
Yeah.
But
Which,
anyway,
by the way, I literally have notes on. It's this. I have notes on like
I know,
how to run that
I
team like
know.
in worlds.
You were gonna give me the like notes in the morning, like here are my notes, and I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna bring it to the sisterhood tournament with the most like RPS team ever. But anyway, so played that match, played against her, had a quick chat with her and some of the neighboring women around, and um, I think I was waiting for DeFi to finish because we were both at the signing, and she was against Paul Asher, and I was just like, oh God, I can't, like so it's going to be a bit of a long match. I was like, because I think they were both playing serious, where like me and Kaz were like, my 1300 CP Gengar was against her Pidgeot or something, and I was like, ah. It's only single moved. Cold Shadow Punch. But anyway, it was a lot of fun regardless. And I think it was the biggest sisterhood tournament for Go that I have heard. I've asked some other judges and some staff members. I'm like, has there been a bigger one? Was it bigger in NIC or anything? They're like, no, this is the biggest one. So sign up wise, it was actually a lot more. So I'm really disappointed that it just like it could have been bigger. It was
Hmm.
there. People signed up for it. The list was long. It was like the A4 page. It was filled up. It was just the fact that by the end of it and all the miscommunication and then like the disorganization, it just came down to like, the last 20 or whatever it was. And I wanted to definitely play game 1. So then it's a registered event. Like, I want to make sure that TBCI see it and be like, there is interest for sisterhood. there is interest for women to play in these like gaming circles. I'm like, I'm more than happy to just throw money at it, play one game, and just leave because it registered my interest in it. So yeah. I don't know who won. I messaged Claire and Claire's like, oh, I kind of left halfway because it kind of got boring. So she started like going watching the matches because it was day two. Day two is amazing. Day two is amazing to watch. The gameplays should be like incredible. So yeah, that's my treadmill stuff to watch next time. Like the actual tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see much of the tournament either, like at all.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Like the match that I really wish that I got to see live, but I was playing at the tables at the time was Sejun
Mm.
Park versus Ashton Ash, which would have been.
Yes, yes.
I mean, it was a very awesome match that could watch
Mm.
back after, but I missed it live.
Yeah.
Like I kept sort of turning around and like looking at the screen, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's so cool. They're two of my these are two of my goats. This is,
Both your draft picks.
yeah, both of my draft picks as well.
Mm-hmm.
But my literal first and second draft picks actually.
Yeah, yeah.
The literal 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it
Mm.
is. Worlds is busy.
It is. It
Um,
is very busy.
we didn't even mention that there were 2 from Oceania that went on to day 2 as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Gone 1001 got very close. He was just one match away. He played in winners on stream, and
He was
then
on stream. First time on stream for Gone, which is
yeah.
great. And then yeah,
Sorry. What about all the Oceanic stream? No, we know they're not the same.
first time his face has been on
Yeah,
stream.
yeah. That's right. Yeah. Unfortunately, then went to the losers, and again, it's just that one away from getting in.
Unlucky.
So there was Jins was on the winners side of the bracket, and
Yes.
then
Mm-hmm.
and he got on stream, got a lot of
Yeah.
promo in the outro videos as well,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of FaceTime, and then
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
we had Valiant Vish in the losers bracket as well for his
Mm-hmm.
4th consecutive top 32 at Worlds,
Incredible.
which is
Absolutely.
just
Like, not a lot of people can say that.
no. And he posted that photo on Twitter of his cards. 'Cause I think one of them's top
Yeah.
16 from the first World Championship,
Yes, yes.
and
From
then
the
32,
London one. Yes.
yeah, for the next 3. He's just like,
Mm-hmm.
dang. I think that Vish guy's kind of good.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
I don't think he's retired.
the man played 2 tournaments and he came 3rd and 4th. It's just crazy.
It's like when I saw Lyle Jeff's tweet
Talk
being
about
like,
retirement.
yeah. I'm just like, I reckon he's not done.
You never
Yeah.
know. You never know.
You
Sometimes
never
they
know.
walk away. We haven't seen Yakko in a while.
Hey, I got DMs from him during the world. It's like, what's happening?
Yeah.
He's still there. He's just not playing the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was day 2, and then we went to dinner. Was IHOP, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't get there yet. So they had the move updates announced at the end of
Yes.
at
Oh,
the
it
end of
was so
Saturday as well.
long.
Which
It was
the
like
the,
8:30
the
at
day
night.
was so long. So I don't know why it was so late. I don't know if they were just like
They
cramming
played too
way
many
too many
matches
matches
on.
in.
They played too many matches on stream. I believe that was.
But there was
what's
apparent. I
it?
didn't know this because again, we barely watched the stream. I spent a
Mm-mm-mm.
lot of my time over in the pocket area. We were doing all sorts of
Mm-mm.
other stuff.
Yeah.
But apparently there was like a 50-minute period where they were just like not having battles. And
Oh,
my
ramble.
assumption, or I think I played like promo video after promo video after promo video. And my assumption is that they had a schedule of the battles they wanted to play on stream, and they didn't deviate, which meant that the stream ran until literally like I feel like it was like 9 p.m. by the time
Move
it was
updates came
probably
out.
8:30 or something by the time the move updates.
I'm pretty sure it was around 8:30. It was around 8 that Adam and Carmen left and started going to IHOP, and they were just like, "We're so hungry, we got to go now." And then just literally after they left, the move updates came up. So
yeah, so I would have liked if there was a bit more flexibility from the broadcast side of things in terms of like cutting matches. I know that like obviously, Oceania is so different. Like even just compared to a regular regional, let alone the world championships, as to how it all runs. But at least in Oceania, like we're cutting matches all the time. We're like, there's an original plan. We're going to show this, and then I'm messaging being like, we're 30 minutes behind. We're going to cut these 2 matches. We'll be back on schedule. Like,
yes.
Constantly.
Yeah.
And I just wish there was that flexibility at Worlds. And again, we're guessing that that's what happened, but yeah.
But it's also Worlds. It's the finals.
Yeah,
like,
and also
I
like as
get
the
it.
player, as much as it's a bad experience when you're still battling at 8 o'clock, it's also like you almost want as many of your matches to be on stream as possible as well.
Correct.
You want to
Yes.
feature as many battlers, so
Yes,
it's a tough balance.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it is a long day, but like I think if I was a competitor, I'd be like, yeah, get me on stream, get me like this might be my last match forever, like of this season, so get me on there.
So it's tough. But also, if I can pivot while we're on the topic,
Mm,
Beelzebub
mm,
and Padaman, who at the
mhm.
end of day 2,
Yes.
they were
Yes.
the 2 finalists locked in for Championship Sunday.
Correct. Yes.
Um, they then once they finished the move updates and whatnot, had to film a bunch of stuff. So they were then like on stage, they were filming like action shots for them to use in the promo videos for tomorrow. 9
Mm,
p.m. they were being ushered to a somewhere else where I think they were gonna record like interview stuff maybe. And it was just like
yeah.
these guys have been like battling all day. It's like 9
Mm,
p.m. the night before they have to play Championship Sunday in the morning,
mhm.
and they're being ushered around just filming all of this B-roll. And it's just like crazy. I was like,
Yeah.
this, I don't know what the workaround is, because obviously all of the promo material looks great because they got all of these shots. Like, it's great
Yeah.
that they have the opportunity to get these interviews and such for them to play, but it feels so bad, man, when it's that late on the Saturday, which again is
Mhm.
one of the consequences of it running how
Yeah.
late it did.
Yeah. Yeah. It just went, yeah, very, very long. And then heading into move updates. Move updates was interesting. I'm sure we'll probably leave the move update stuff for maybe next time. But yeah, the move updates were exciting on both our parts. I think I do love the tweet from Kaz for both our reactions in regards to Charm and SmackDown.
Yeah, I'm going to
um,
be honest, and I'll say this from the high heavens. I haven't said it on this episode yet, that I
mm,
legitimately think that Bastion was being slept on for the World Championships. There were only
mm,
2 that actually played. One of them was
mm.
Jin's into day 2, and one of them was
There we go.
me. So it is what it is. But I never used it, to be fair. But I
They were scared
legitimately
of the
think,
Basti.
well, I had some bad team comps for the Bastion usage, unfortunately.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I legitimately felt like it was such a good core breaker, and the fact that they're
Mm.
buffing it is insane.
Yeah.
It's actually baffling. I can't even comprehend why they buffed it. It doesn't make sense to me. Because they buffed
Ugh.
SmackDown, which like doesn't even help anything else. Like, no one else is even running SmackDown. I looked at like who even has this
Tyranitar.
on the Great League rankings, and it's like Agron. Okay, like,
Oh, Bam Boss, get ready.
yeah, maybe, but yeah, it seems weird to me, but it is what it is. Apparently,
Yeah.
Bastidon is
Hmm.
back, baby,
Yeah.
hard.
I was looking
Um,
at my Basties and be like, oh, I could make a better one than my current one. So I was like, maybe it's time. Got to put these XLs candies into somewhere.
yeah, well, I had to build my
Um,
brand new level. I was walking it all week at Worlds just to get that last XL candy I needed for
yeah.
to finish
Yeah.
that guy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Kind of funny. Also, all of my rare candy XL all burnt on this Bastidon.
Mm.
It's,
Well, it's going to be good for the next 3 months as well. So
yeah, I guess happy days. Awesome.
good investment. Usually it's the other way around, right? So
Yeah.
you've already invested into the next best Pokemon.
Yep. So
Mhm, mhm.
sweet.
Forget about your like, Medislayer. Used to.
Oh man, my poor Medislayer Medicham. A rip.
Yeah. And then yeah, that was Saturday. IHOP, with no stranger to IHOP, so that was good. Do we put that on the tier list? Like, does that count?
I mean, yeah, it was fine. Like,
Yeah, in the middle somewhere.
yeah, probably higher middle, but
Yeah, second over
I
Carl's
mean,
Jr.
we only had like 4 people at 4 thingos, I guess.
Oh yeah, Jack in the Box,
I
IHOP,
mean, I had 3 pancakes. I didn't have chicken, which is like,
Carl's
I'm
Jr.
almost just using the quality of the
Taco.
chicken as a barometer for the tier list.
Fair enough. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, it's it's cheerful. I got what I wanted. We definitely filled my belly. I was like, okay, cool. So that was day 2, and then heading into Championship Sunday, which is Arena Day, and we got messages early in the morning that like, oh my gosh, the line goes all the way to downtown Disney, or like just the traffic light, or like somewhere around there. And I was like, oh no, that line is long.
Yeah, we were heading in, and I now at the night before, Debbie was
Mm,
like, "Are we thinking like 8 a.m. We
mm,
arrive?"
mm,
And
mm,
my personal take was
mhm,
like, "Hey, I'm happy to go as early as possible. I'm going to be up early anyway. This is fine by
mhm,
me."
mhm,
But
mhm,
I was, I guess, attempting to be a little bit more like a reasonable man of the people, and I was like, "Look, we're here at IHOP at 11 p.m. We're going
mhm,
to take some time to get back home. I think that people are going to want a bit more sleep. I don't
mhm,
think that if a priority is us all going in together, because that's what they told you.
mhm,
Like, if
mhm,
you
mhm,
but the way it was supposed to work is you walk in, and you get given a band respective to the order that you're going in, and you're essentially going to be going in with the people you're with. If they go in later, they won't be able to meet you because they'll get given a different band. So it was like, okay, we want to meet up. And so with that being the priority, I was like, look, we have a better chance of getting more people in if we go a little bit later. So I was like, maybe like more like 8:30, something like that. In reality, even if we were there at 8, I think we would have been a little bit botched as it played out. But basically, as we were walking to the convention center, like 8:15, we were getting messages. It's already packed. Like, they've already stopped, not letting more people in. It's like, right. Unfortunately, this is a bad saga for us. This, again, it goes down to, this is probably one of the worst run things of the weekend, unfortunately, which again just goes onto the list.
Yeah.
But we rock up. They're pushing us from. They're not letting people line up in the main line anymore. There's sort of a second line that is in the main convention center, and so we get into line. We join. I don't know, someone we recognize. I can't remember who was there before us.
It was Lovell always. So Anne
Yeah,
was in
Anne was in
line
line.
because
Yeah,
she was staying at the Hilton. So it
right
was just
across the road.
so yeah. So she's like, I'm already in line. Just come in here. And we're just like, yep, all right. We got to stay as a group, as a friend together. So I'm like, yep, cool.
Yeah,
I know like some others were like, oh, we don't want to push in line. I'm just like, no. They told us we had to stay as a friend group, so we're gonna stay all together so we can sit next to each other.
Yeah, so we get in line, and again, we're sort of sitting there knowing that they've already said we're not letting any more people in. And so we're like, well, look, if we stay in line, at least by the time Unite finishes, maybe Unite leaves, we get to go in as Go. We'll be there for the Go finals. Fine.
Yeah.
And then in the end, they end up all of a sudden start moving us in. It's like, oh, this is weird. We weren't expecting this.
Yeah.
And so we get given these wristbands for there were 3 levels of the arena. There was the lower level, the sort of main floor. There was the next level, and then there was the sort of the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
And so we get let in on the first level. We get a silver wristband. We walk in.
Yeah.
There's no seats.
No,
at all.
It's already full at
Completely
the bottom
full.
level. So we're like, oh, okay, we'll just go up then. Like, that's the most logical way. So we leave the bottom floor, have a chat with staff, and we're like, okay, well, the bottom floor is full. Where do we go now? And they're like, oh, no, your wristband's for like the bottom floor. I'm like, yeah, we understand that. Is the fact that there's no seats available. That's not like, it's not even just like 1 or 2, like, we could split up or something like that. It was literally no more seats on the bottom floor.
As they were still filling more and more people in to the bottom floor.
Yeah, exactly. So we're all just like sardines at the bottom floor, being like, where do we go? And getting in front of production and everything, because there are all the cameras and everything around there as well. So it's just kind of like, where do we go? And having a chat with staff, and then staff were like, oh, okay, right. Well, we'll need to change your wristbands, because your wristbands say bottom floor.
Oh, but before that, we just inherently like, oh, we can go upstairs. Like, I think we asked someone in staff, like, oh, can we go upstairs?
Inside.
Like,
on the bottom floor, someone said like, yep, go upstairs.
It's like, okay. So we try to go upstairs, and then staff block us and be like, you can't come up here. This is VIP only. And we're like, well, heck. Well, but they just told us, and he's like, no, you can't come up here.
Yeah.
Okay. So we go back down. We talk to one of the staff people, and she's like, just wait here.
Yeah.
And she's like, we have walkie-talkies, we can communicate to each other. And she sort of like, yells sounds a little more aggressive than what it actually was, but she speaks loudly to the guys that are giving out wristbands. And she says, like, stop giving out wristbands for a second. They don't stop. They keep giving wristbands, and people keep funneling in. Another minute passes. She says, stop. They, again, don't listen. They keep giving out wristbands. More and more people are coming in. It was like, it was insane to watch. I was about to go over there and be like, hey, she's saying stop. But I was like, look, I don't want to make waves. We're trying to follow the rules. We're trying to, we want to just get our seats. And I was like, what is happening here? And eventually she's like, okay, we'll change your wristbands over.
Yeah.
So they change your wristbands over for the second floor, and she starts giving out, I think, for argument's sake, say she's giving out orange wristbands.
Yes.
But before she gets to the end of our group, she runs out of orange wristbands, and she's like, oh, can we get more orange wristbands? And she gets told, like, no, there's no more. You've got to move on to purple.
That's all I'll be giving. She was given. Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, so even though we've arrived as a group, as we were told, we're now being split up in some people are getting orange, some people are getting purple. And already this is like, I know Greg was very frustrated, but it was very much like, we arrived on time as a group, as we were told. We got given wristbands to go on the bottom floor. We've due to no fault of our own, we don't have a seat on
Mm,
the bottom floor. We've tried to
mm,
then do the right thing, talk to the
mm.
staff, being like, oh, you can sit on the second floor, here's some wristbands, but
Yeah.
then we didn't get enough again. And now some
Mm.
people are going to be sitting on the third floor, even though we were there like relatively early compared to a lot of the people on the second floor. So it
Yep.
was like, this was already a little bit nightmarish. But now, so some of us have that second floor wristband.
Yeah,
So
so we had to say goodbye to some of the others because they had a different wristband, and we're like, so I said bye to Anne. Then that was the last time I saw Anne, because she went off to Disney after the Go
mm,
finals. So I was like, well, love and leave. And I think Greg's sister and brother-in-law also got different wristbands. So
mhm,
that was just like, oh, so he had to actually say bye to them because he wasn't going to say. I don't think they were going. They don't think they were flying out
mm.
as well. So it was like literally we had to say bye to people in our friendship group that we were meant to all sit together. So yeah, that was a bit hard. And then we got our wristbands. We had a collective group of, let's call it 10 of us. Then they finally let us into the second floor,
Yep.
and we get to the second floor, and there's obviously it's empty because they're funneling people in.
Oh, and
There's a
no,
couple.
not even obviously. The fact that like they were earlier saying like there's no more, like we're not letting any more people in, it's full. It was
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
look around and like the second and third floor are empty. It's like, what
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, oh no,
insane?
all of it's reserved, and we're just like,
It
can't have
can't
all
be.
of it. Yeah, not all of it's
Yeah,
reserved,
this is
and out.
80% of the arena. You're telling me it's all reserved. It's not.
Yeah,
We know you're
yeah,
wrong. We like you have some information. It is not the correct information. We know this.
yeah. So with our wristbands, I asked the staff member, going, okay, we've got these wristbands. Where do we sit? And they're like, anywhere. Just like there's like all these empty seats in front of us. So we're like, oh, okay, well we've got a group of 10. Let's all get in one row together
Mhm.
because we're all together. So we're like, okay, cool. Well we'll just sit here, like where we end up sitting. And Rocket Claire comes in with her daughter and El Cav as well, because with the same wristband color. And it was like, oh, we're all here. Come over this way. So we're all sitting together, Aussie contingent. And then we're sitting down, and I think it like Unite starts, and the intros have started at this point. And we can see that some other people were getting taps on the shoulder, being like, "Oh, you're not meant to sit here." And we're just like, "Oh no, okay." We can see what's coming. Like, we're already sat down. We've already been, shuffled so many times, been given all this information that was incorrect or just poor communication. And I was like, "Okay, they're going to probably try and move us at some point because it seems like we're in the wrong location," which is very frustrating. But it's also kind of like, we're rule abiders. We're just like, okay, well, if we have to move, we have to move. And the people in front of us, and I think this also like went into our favor as well. There was 4 people in front of us, and they had been shuffled 3 times by the time they got to that seat, and they were told to move, and they refused to move. They told the staff member, like, no, we've been moved 3 times already. We already are staff. We've done all the right things. We are staying here until the end of Unite. Like, we want to be here for the Unite finals. After that, we can go, but like, we are staying here. We refuse to move. And the staff member was like, yep, okay, fine. Like,
I mean, they
just,
had very small kids. One of them was playing Roblox the entire time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They
Yeah.
they just talked about their experience and just like very like dug their heels down. So when eventually a staff member came to us, they were just like, "Oh, you're not meant to sit here. This isn't like the right. Like, can I have a look at your wristband?" And looked at my wristband, and the wristband actually was not for that particular. Like, I think it was from 206 onwards, and we were in 204, but I asked, I was like, look, when we were assigned our seats or like, told to sit wherever we wanted to sit, they were like, yeah, just sit wherever. So I was like, no, the staff members told us that we could sit here because it was the overflow. Because by the time that we got up there, the other like 206 and all that section was already full.
Yeah. It was
So
already
they were just like,
well
yeah, yeah,
full.
yeah, yeah. So they were just like, okay, you can sit here where it's empty. So I was like, yeah, that's what we were told. And then they went up, then came back down, and then TPCI came in and was like, oh, hey, look, one, sorry for all this is happening and, what's going on. I understand, the staff have like obviously given you wrong information, but you guys can't sit here all day. And we were like, look, we're here for Go. if we can stay here for like the Go finals, we can go after that. And then they kind of went up and discussed, and then they came back down and like, yeah, you can stay for the Go finals. And then, they came back around and gave us some like Pikachu cards as well. So I was just kind of, they're like, so sorry about everything. Just, and I know that Greg voiced his concerns as well, and told the staff members like, what has been going on, and was happy to play bad cop, but I also felt bad for staff because it was just kind of like, it seems so out of control. Like you said, no one was listening to anyone. It was just seems to be just so disorganized that it wasn't this flow on effect of things. And I'm like, it's such a big arena as well. I'm like, this is only for our section, let alone like for the rest of everyone else. But anyway, we got our seats. We had
Yeah.
a good viewing spot.
Yeah. It is again. I know that it's the first time they've done something like this, and I'm sure they've learned a lot of lessons for next year when they're going to do it
Yeah.
even bigger scale. But
Mm.
I just, unfortunately, there's almost nothing I can point out from the entire weekend that I can say like that was well organized from TPCI.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah. The
entire
arena was
weekend.
cool. Like,
The arena was
viewing it is.
awesome. Like, the
Yeah.
production was
Yeah.
awesome. The fact that
Yeah.
how they
Yeah.
used the
Yeah.
stage was
Yeah.
awesome. But
Yeah.
the arena seating was done so poorly. And
Correct.
there was no communication within staff. There was
Yeah.
no understanding of what was going on between any of them. It was
Correct.
just
Correct.
really, really badly done.
And like to top it off, like they didn't turn the aircon on until like maybe halfway through
Oh,
Unite, and
really?
I was like, yeah, I was
No.
boiling in there. Greg and I were just like sweating. It was just like, oh my gosh, like, is it going to be like this for the entire day? And then they finally turned on the aircon. And we're like, oh my gosh, okay, because like I forgot who went in afterwards, and they were just like so hot. I think like after we left, like
Mhm.
through the either TCG or VG finals, they didn't have like aircon on as well, and that was full. That was like full volume in
Well, actually,
Well, that
and
app gave me a notification saying it was full.
yeah, and I know this is out of order, but they again stopped letting people in,
Mm,
like between VG and TCG, like so, like VG people left, and they seemingly weren't like filling up the seats that were empty, and so there's
uh-huh.
so many photos from during the TCG finals of like
Yeah.
all of these empty seats that they just weren't letting people come in to fill. I mean, there's a famous one of like one guy with his life-size Gardevoir plush sitting
I
next to
loved it.
him,
I
but
love that one.
also and like this is why the arena is full. But there were
Yeah,
also a
yeah.
bunch of seats around, him and his Gardevoir that
Mm,
were also empty. So
yeah.
it was just very nonsensical the
Yeah,
entire time. It
yeah.
was the people that were in there had a good experience. The
Correct.
people that
Yeah.
weren't got wronged. Is this?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. But again, lessons to learn for next time. But
yeah,
arena
hopefully.
experience was amazing. Like the Go finals, like incredible. What a fairy tale finish as well, to go all the way to the last game that could be ever played. Um, and yeah, just having the LED floor, having all the mons there, and once like it got knocked out, it got like, it was very much, it reminded me of the original like the animated series when Ash was in his like first big tournament, and it's like once his Pokemon got knocked out, it's like pew, and it's like darkens that like where that Pokemon was, and I was like, oh, I really got those kind of vibes watching the final.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the go. You do want to go get into the Go finals or the?
Yeah, I mean, it was, so I mean, Beelzebub versus Pataman. Beelzebub had
Mm,
such a team comp advantage. Like his Galarian
mm,
Moltres was essentially unchecked.
unchecked for sure.
Like
Yeah.
it was really just
Double shield.
whether, yeah, it was, as long as
Mm,
like Pataman was just trying to get his Credilli onto it to get some Rock Tomb damage in, or potentially
mm,
Galarian Corsola with energy so he could land a Power
yeah.
Gem to peel shields off. Like
Mm,
it was very much a lopsided final, but they definitely made it close.
mm,
And so Bills Boy sort of lost the day before to Pataman in the winners finals, which Bills Boy
mm,
kind of threw, to be honest. Like
mm,
it definitely could have been Bills Boy's win
yeah.
straight into grand finals, but he ended up
Mm,
losing, beating Harjeff in the losers finals, and then went back up to grands. And
yeah.
so it was definitely his match to win. He was able to reset the
Mm,
bracket 3-1, and then
mm-hmm,
a game all the way to game 5.
yeah.
And it was really like they were very, it wasn't RPS in the sense that there
Mm,
was lots of like, well, I don't want to say there was no 50-50 edge. There were quite a
mm,
few scenarios where it's like, whether it's the pay call or not. And that's the
yes.
decider of
Yes.
whether, like, whoever is
Yes.
going to win the match depends on whether this move gets shielded or not,
Correct.
which
Yeah.
it sort of harkens back to the olden days of Galarian Stunfisk, where it's like, oh, is it going to be earthquake or rock slide? And this decides the game, which I don't think is awesome personally. I don't think it's a great way for the game to be, but like, and not to say there's no strategy in it. There's thinking of like, what is the most logical play for my opponent here? How has my opponent played so far? I don't want to say that it was no skill at all because it was
Mm-hmm.
very, very skillful. Boy played
Yes.
so cleanly. Padaman did everything he
Yes.
could. Like they were very
Yes.
well played battles.
Yes. I feel like this final was very much a showcase of skill that it was last year for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
finals.
I think that's very correct. Last year was the only skill on point was Inadequence's team reading ability. That's
Yeah.
all that was really happening.
Yeah.
But it was a very good final. It's definitely worth the watch.
Mm.
But Boy, raises the trophy for the second
Mm.
time in a row for the APAC region.
Let's go APAC.
Will we get any more APAC qualification spots? I heavily doubt it. I think that it's not actually going to get the respect it deserves.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the fact that Boy 2023 doesn't qualify for Worlds, goes as a spectator. 2024 places top 4 at Worlds, goes ahead, wins the next year is kind of
Mm-hmm.
insane. It's sort of Marto level type beat, which is
Mm.
sort of just missing the full season because obviously Boy doesn't get to play in the other stuff. And
Yeah.
to steal an anecdote from Caleb Peng, I mean, he was talking to Master Mihir, who also from
Mm-hmm.
India. That
Yes.
India, crazy by the way. They've had 3
Mm-hmm.
battlers ever compete at the World Championships: Boy, and Master Mihir.
Mm.
100% success rate, top 8 at Worlds.
Mm.
Baffling,
Mm.
just insane
Yeah.
crack.
Yeah.
But to yoink this thing from Caleb Peng, he was talking to, I think, Master Mihir. And
Mm-hmm.
Master Mihir was like, yeah, to be honest with you, I don't care about the GBL updates
Mm-hmm.
until the March one, because that's the
Mm.
only time it becomes relevant, because that's when the India tournaments are. And then, and then it's Worlds after that. So for half of the year, he couldn't care less what the move updates were, which is I thought was kind
Yeah.
of funny.
Yeah.
But
It's true, but it's
yeah,
also like, he's got the skill set, so he doesn't need to practice like hard. It's more like, okay, what's actually relevant?
yeah.
What do I
But
need to know by that
speaking
point?
of, I also really liked Boy said that
Mm.
BJ Poat
Mm-hmm.
had sort of
Mm-hmm.
mentioned to him, like, as he was going to the best of 5 for day
Uh-huh.
3, Championship Sunday,
Uh-huh.
BJ was like, you play GBL, right? And he's like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, you just have to go 3-5. Positive set.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Which I was like, that's so awesome. That's, uh, but yeah, Boy, very deserving champion, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. I think our section was definitely rooting him on. Like it was like, yep, yep, yep. So very, very happy that he did well and can hold that trophy and wear the jacket. Hopefully someone gets him a jacket that he was looking for.
Yeah, well, he wasn't the only one looking for a jacket, let's put it that way.
No, no, poor accent.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so that wraps up the Go finals, and then that's halfway in the day. So we left the arena. We weren't planning to go back in. I was like, no, we're done with the arena now. Let's just chill for the remainder of Worlds.
I think you
And
had other stuff you wanted to do. Like in my head, I probably just would have
mm,
stayed in the arena all day, just out of FOMO, I guess. But there
mm,
wasn't really a need to, really. So it was kind of fine to
I,
leave.
I wanted to kind of I didn't get an opportunity to do a bit of extra filming, and I just wanted to get some like extra little bits here and there, and just kind of like actually take the time to absorb Worlds, because I
Mm.
felt like not that I was like missing out on anything, but it was just more like, oh, I just feel like I haven't had a chance to sit down and actually enjoy it as of yet, because I was just been running around the entire few days before it. um and I guess I'll mention here that when we were leaving the arena, I saw a couple of gaming before leaving, and I was like, oh, I better give them a hug. I might not see them again. Um, and I didn't realize the back seating was 2 concrete levels up, and gave them a hug, stepped down thinking there was only 1 concrete level. Didn't realize it was 2 concrete levels. Debbie stacked it and rolled her ankle going on the way down. I'm like, oh, that's a memento. And at the time, I was like, oh yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Um,
She
and
continued to say.
I think it's a very Debbie like trauma response. That's another episode for another thing. But yeah, I was walking on it, and I'm like, oh, it feels pretty good. Yeah, I'm okay. My wrist was a bit sore because I landed on my wrist, and I was like, yeah. And like the people around were like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'm good, I'm good. Okay, good, okay, bye, 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 bye. And then throughout later into the evening and everything, I was like, oh, it's not as good as I thought it is. It is a little bit on the sore side.
Hmm.
Um, so anyway, we left go. We grabbed some nibbles, and then yeah, I think we're just walking around. We ended up going to a meet and greet uh, after lunch. Um, and got in the line to see the Go Casters because I thought it'd be funny. So I was just like, it was wholesome, it was Speediest Chief, it was Caleb, it was Inadequates, and yeah, we got in the line. Amanda Lumberger also joined our line as well, so I thought that was funny. We had all of them, and we're just like, once we got to there, I was just like, yay, hi! And they're like, hey.
Oh
um,
my gosh, the Go Casters! I'm such a big fan.
yeah, so that was no, we got a nice photo with them, and then afterwards, yeah, I think we hung around Hall A. Is that Hall A? That
Hmm.
side of
Yeah.
the had a look at the Maridon, a bit of a walk through around that area. Had the chats. Finally, could actually chat to people and sit down and took some photos with Tu Yen and with Amanda as well. And then I think we were just at that point just wanted to watch the VG finals. I think we were getting close to that point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was wanted to watch the VG finals as much as it was wanted to watch the closing ceremony, and the VG finals happens
Mm.
right before that.
Yes, yes, yeah.
I think that's the real motivation.
Mm.
But the only other thing I think we got in before that was the world champion photo, which
Oh, yes, yes.
as
Mhm,
when I did the Clash of the Casters, for those that watched it, for
mhm,
the week one, we had the world champions casting. So it was Emmy Weedle,
mhm,
Dancing Rob, and Axon were all
mhm,
casting. Yakai, he said he would have been like, I asked him after. I didn't want to bother him because it was like the middle of the night for him, and he was like, "Oh,
mhm.
look, if I'm like, ask me next time if I'm living on my own, then I'll be keen, but I don't want to wake up like my parents." And I was like, "Yeah, fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah, fair
Been
enough,
there,
yeah.
done that, champion."
Mhm,
And so I was like, uh, when we were in that talk, the other guys were talking about like, oh, last year we kind of wanted to get a all world champions photo, but we didn't get, we
mhm,
didn't get it done in the end. And I was like, we can make it happen this time. And they're like, yeah, yeah,
mm,
okay. And I mentioned it to Yakai as well at some point. And
mhm,
after when we walked out of the arena, Yakai, like we were talking to Yakai, and he was like,
mhm,
"Oh, Steve, like you've you're in charge. You've got to make this photo happen." And I was like,
mhm.
"All right, yes, champ." So,
Steve was on a mission. He was just like, "Do, do, 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 do,
yeah, I
do."
was message Jackson, message Rob, message Weedle.
Mhm,
Turns out
mhm.
Weedle was like on his flight home. He'd like
Yeah,
flown out that morning. So it's like, rip.
yeah.
But yeah, I was messaging Axon and Rob. Axon was like, I'm at lunch. I'll be free at this time. And then Rob was like, look, I'm in Beelzebub Boy, like recording his interview stuff now. Like, we'll probably be free
Mhm,
here. And it's like, okay. And we
mhm,
just like, pinged it all around. Yakai and his
mhm,
family were sort of doing their own thing. And then
mhm.
eventually, we managed to get everyone together. More of an effort than
Yeah.
you'd expect.
Mm,
But, we got the four guys there. Bill was a boy, Rob, Axon, and Yakai.
mhm.
Again, sorry, Weedle, that we missed you. You should have stayed in for
Yeah,
Sunday. It's your fault, obviously.
yeah. True,
Um,
true.
that's on you. And then we got what I always planned was to then get the photo with me in it as the 2026 world champion. Um, so
It's a great photo.
yeah, I know in the Clash of the Casters Discord chat that I added
Mhm,
Yakai into while we were sort of planning to get everyone around in the
mm,
one spot.
mhm.
Rob was like, "Oh, you should add Beelzebub and to this chat and
Uh-huh.
call it the World Champions 2022 to 2026." And I went, "Yeah, that's right, Rob." So I will win the World Championships in
You don't
2026.
need to tell me twice.
Yeah, pretty funny on the whole, but
Mm.
yeah, it's cool to get them all
It's a
together in one spot.
it's a
Um,
cool club.
yeah,
Like, I think just having that photo, it just I remember when I was setting up the photo and, like, how we wanted to position everyone because we've got some tall, we've got Rob and we've got Axon, but I'm just like, "You know what? We're gonna go by years. It's gonna be
yeah,
first year, second year, third year, fourth year. We're gonna have it in that way because it's gonna look better when we take that photo because everyone will be like, 'Ah, I get it,' like, instead of, like, mixing them around."
yeah, yeah.
And then, you tacked on to the side, right? So,
In
yeah.
order.
In order.
But
Obviously, the most famous, or I say famous, the part that people have noticed is that Axon isn't wearing the orange jumper. That even Rob, his jumper was borrowed from Brian. So
so
thank
small.
you. He is a tall man, and Brian is not a tall man. So therefore, like, yeah, there's a lot of gap, but it does cover his shirt. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
the
So
most
for those that
important
don't
part.
know or have seen the photo and you're like, why is he wearing a jacket that's so small? It's
Yeah.
just because, yeah, he can't take photos in like the staff garb. So
Mhm.
like when we were messaging, he was like, "Can someone get me a jacket? I
Yeah,
can't need
yeah,
it covered
yeah,
covered up." It's like, all
yeah.
right, we
And
can make
Brian
that
was like,
happen.
yeah, yeah, no, that's all good. So then,
Yeah,
but then obviously, we have Yakai in the jacket, we have Rob in the jacket, we've got Boy in the jacket, and there's this like accent without a jacket. And we were trying so hard to find someone, and I was so prepared to approach a random person and be like, "Hey, can I just borrow your jacket for 2 seconds just to like put it on accent?" But I couldn't find anyone,
yeah.
so
We just had to take the shot, and he then retweeted it, the photo that Rob posted, and was like, "They didn't tell me to bring a jacket."
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that's the memo for next year for the
Oh
next
yeah,
photo.
we'll get
Everyone,
matching outfits next year.
yeah, matching outfits. All right. In your little Discord chat, just like organize it
Yeah.
beforehand. This is the jacket. Everyone, Pokemon Center, get this one. We'll see you at the end of Go Finals.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Maybe Emmy Weeder won't fly out quite so soon this time. We'll
well, we'll let
see.
him know. He's got an engagement.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's busy. He's
He
busy.
can't fly back to Europe then.
Yeah.
But yeah, then the finals, sorry, the VG finals, and we go to the closing ceremony. The closing ceremony, obviously in the arena, they had the like what is it, 20-piece orchestra, which I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I love orchestras. Um, and did the final performances, and obviously they played the outro of the closing ceremony. I was like, oh yeah, cool, cool outro, and it had a little bit of the pieces that have already been kind of put together throughout the weekend. So I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah. There's like things that I've already seen. There's pictures of gins again and like all the other B-roll things, and suddenly I see this face. I
You.
see this face, and I was just like, what?
Let's go.
We're on the outro.
Yeah, we made it. Last time I filmed extra stuff to get into the intro. This time, no need.
No.
Sneak into the closing ceremony ourselves.
Yeah. So I was like, I wish I was laughing, but it was still, still
Yeah.
pretty cool to see
I mean,
ourselves on there.
I was telling people after the fact, but like,
Mm,
as always, when this stuff is
mm.
going on, I clocked the camera and was like,
Yes,
right,
yes.
we'll put the laugh on. I'm making sure this is a shot they want to use.
Hmm.
And by golly gosh, it was.
Okay. You're gonna have to like elbow me next time. It's like, Debbie, laugh now.
Yeah, we made it. It's
We
fine.
did. So that was like, I think we got our I was recording our reactions at that time. So I think it was just more of like So
Huge.
when the vlog comes out, when I finally start editing it. And then after that, it was, they released a couple of videos of what's happening, then finish it off with a Eternatus has arrived in Anaheim and it'll be released in half an hour. And in that period of time, all the Pokestops were gone, all the gyms were gone. There were only like, I don't know, like a few max power spots outside of the convention center. So everyone's like, Eternatus is here. All right, well, I guess we're raiding after this. All the plans for dinner, anything afterwards, gone. Everyone's going to like, it's Eternatus time.
Hmm.
Which I thought was a brilliant tactic to clear out the floor. Like
Yeah.
everyone just skedaddled out of there so
Initially,
quick.
like we were sort of, I don't, I was talking to Greg. I'm not sure if you were in the combo,
Mm,
but
mhm,
I was sort of like, man, this is so annoying. Like, there's nothing right
mm.
here. Or we were both like, this is kind of annoying. But then,
Yeah,
like, within 20 seconds, we were like, oh, but we're all clearing out. It's genius.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
actually genius.
It is. It is. I thought
So,
that was very clever.
yeah.
And if they do it every year, I'm like, no, nothing wrong with that.
No, it was well done. It was a good idea.
Hmm.
And yeah, everyone
Yeah.
kept saying 2016 vibes. I didn't play in 2016, so I don't know what you guys are on about, but it was a lot of people playing Pokemon Go at one time. So
It was very 2016 vibes. It was like that first week of Pokemon Go being released. Like everyone's out there just playing Go. Um, it was just so wholesome. It was like, you know, like there's no rain. Everyone's like just happy to be there, happy to battle, getting like, getting a new Pokemon. It was just really good vibes. and you went off with some other crew to go do some Eternatus raids, and I was
You make
told
it
that
sound like I'm the one that split off. You're the one that had the
no,
special
no,
place to
yeah,
go.
I was told going, hey, be around here because we might be filming some of the promo video for Eternatus for well currently this weekend. um, I was like, oh, I don't get that opportunity much in Australia. I'm gonna go do this and like see what I can do. So I was with DeFi and we were like, okay, cool, let's see. And it just got again a theme of the probably entire podcast. Not a lot of communication. So
Yeah.
there's just all these creators just like hanging in front of the Pikachu and we're just like waiting for something to happen. And there was someone with a camera, and I'm just like, "Hey, are you filming for Eternatus?" And it's like, yeah, I am." I'm like, "What do you want? What do you want from us?" Like, it's like, "Oh, well, I'd like to film in front of the Pikachu, and um, it's good lighting here." I'm like, "Well, there's no power spot here. The power spot's a little bit further down. It is dark, but it is where the power spot is." And it's like, "Oh yeah, if you can just gather around there." So like Debbie's community ambassador skills kicked in to, hoarding hundreds of people to do one raid, right? So there's just me with my voice being like, all right, we're heading south of Pikachu. We're going to do the Eternatus raid there. So everyone's like shuffling along. And we get to the location, and then I'm just like, all right, everyone, jump in. Everyone's jumping in. The lobby's full of 100 people. Countdowns like, when it's down to 10, I start counting down. I'm like, 10, 9, and everyone jumps on board with it. They're filming all of this, so it's all pretty cool. We're battling, and like the camera's going around, but I was just like, there's a Ghastly. Who's bringing a Ghastly in here? Why is this not powered up? Obviously, they cut all of that out. And because I hadn't encountered it yet, so a few people have already done a few of it. But because by this point it's already half an hour in, so people have already done it. And but mine was the encounter screen, so I was like, oh, here's my encounter screen, and they're filming it. So in the promo, it has my hand with the encounter screen. I'm like, hey, obviously no one knows because it's like a hand,
Yeah, I
just
didn't
a
know.
random phone.
Debbie only told me today.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
was
was like,
like, I
it's
mean, her
me
face
and
is
my
in the
hand.
video as well,
Yeah, a glimpse
for a
of my
split
face.
second.
Yeah, I was just like,
Um,
yay, I'm in it.
yeah, mm,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Made it
that
into
finished.
2 videos that
Bigger and better each year. No,
so talented.
ah, I'm good at tapping on a screen. And then yeah, then that was done. Then I tried to find you guys, and you guys were like, walked a bit further up and continually did raids. We're walking in the wrong direction to go to the. I think we were originally going to the after party, and then that got changed locations, and we ended up at Denny's.
We were in the
Um,
right direction of the original social, but then, yeah, the social then
mm,
got moved, and then it was
yes,
all a
yeah,
little and again, it wasn't a real social, it was sort of a
no,
pseudo social.
yeah,
But, yeah, we went to
yeah.
Denny's, which,
We went to Denny's.
thumbs down, not good.
Yeah,
I
no.
had premium
Is it?
chicken tenders, and they were anything but premium, they were not good.
I think yeah, IHOP was definitely better than Denny's.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, by a country mile. It was bafflingly
Mm.
better. It was actually kinda wild.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
Mm.
I don't know where Taco Bell sits on the whole thing, but at the
Taco
very
Bell's still
least,
low, still at the bottom. I
yeah,
think
still at
Taco
the
Bell's
bottom.
still at the bottom. Like Taco
Yeah.
Bell, Denny's, um, Carl's Jr.
Well, then there's a jump. Like, that's the
Yeah.
pitfall, that's the hell on earth, and then there's a big jump.
Hold on. Yes, but yes. Um, and then yeah, we went to the after party, or social. Saw some content creators, saw like the casters, saw like some of the Go people, and Debbie was EP, and then dragged Steve back to the hotel. I'm like, he was like still prepared to go, and I was just like, I'll just sit here, and I was like, my eyes were closing, my ankle was throbbing, and I was just like, I don't want to go home, but like. I also wanted to. I wanted you to socialize as well because you won't see these people for a while. So I was like, anyway, we walked back, and then that was end of day 3, end of worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're 2.5 hours into this podcast. I didn't think it would be this long, but that wraps up our world experience. And then the next
Well,
day was
in some sense, I
um,
guess there was a lot to complain about. So,
mhm.
yeah.
Next day we checked out of the hotel. The I was just like, oh, we'll get breakfast, and I kept thinking that Rick would show up. Then I forgot that he left on Sunday already because like Rick was coming to our breakfasts to double dip. But yeah, no, he wasn't there. Then yeah, we finished up, went to LAX, had some stragglers, including Dial-Up.
Well, we watched K-pop Demon Hunter.
Oh yes, that's right. We did watch K-pop. You guys did a Battle Cats recording.
Which, let me say, but against, I didn't even get a chance to protest, quite frankly. At NAIC, they brought up the same thing. It was like, oh, we could record something in person. And I said, no.
Yes.
If I'm in New Orleans to hang, I want to hang. I don't want to record. I'm not here for like
Yeah.
filming content. Hell
Yeah.
no. And then I mean, in some sense, you were complicit in catching me off guard for this one.
Well, I
Accidentally
was just
complicit.
there.
Because you told me, you didn't ask, you told me, oh, on Monday we're going to Kaz's and we're watching we're watching this. And I was like, oh. Which I don't think I replied negatively, but I responded negatively here. I was like, she's telling me what I'm doing? What the heck? I hate being told what to do. What in the world? Say, oh, fine.
I usually do ask you for a lot of things, and like this was the one where I'm just like, oh, it's gonna be too hard to work around. We're doing this.
And then that morning, she was tired and she was like, maybe we skip it. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me?
He was fuming. He was just like, he was trying to grapple with the idea of being like, I was so certain on this, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, hey. I'm a bit iffy.
Ridiculous.
I just keep things interesting. just when you thought.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But we went.
We did.
After we went for a trip with Greg and Ali to Staples.
Yes, thank you for that. I
So
did get my cylinder to
thanks for the
put my
ride,
posters in.
Greg. And also, I mean, we've already talked about the suitcase thing, but also thank you, Greg, for the Qantas pajamas.
Yes,
That,
essential.
let's say that came in handy when I no longer had pajamas. Shout out.
Yeah.
And also for this. Let's go. This made it back. None of my clothes did, but the Pokemon TCG Pocket Guidebook. Ready to
Important.
go.
Yeah, essential reading.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, yeah. So we did that. We watched K-pop Demon Hunters. Called a Battle Cats Dingo. Which, yeah, again, I wouldn't have chosen to. I would have been more like, can't we just like hang for 50 minutes instead of recording for 50 minutes? But well, they wanted to do it, so we did it. It's fine.
You took your promo photos for your shirts.
Yeah.
As well.
Which again, so the Battle Cats shirt also came in clutch because I went from having one shirt on my person to 2 shirts, which was very important.
Yep.
And
then
yeah, so then we go to LAX with
got
Adam,
dropped off by
and Dalat.
meet up there. Yeah. Head into LAX, drop our bags off, and that was the last time to see your bag.
So dumb.
Yeah. And yeah. Anyway, uneventful on the way back.
Yeah, we have another full row again, which is works both ways. So very nice.
Yeah. Got some decent sleep on the plane, and then arrive in Sydney. And yeah, again, we go back to full circle about 2.5 hours ago where Steve's luggage did not come on the carousel.
Yep. And like as we were walking to the luggage carousel, like Brent Tonneson, like, came to say hello. Which when he turned around and he was like, he sort of like did one of these like, hey. Like I just assumed he wasn't looking at me. Like I was like, oh, there must be someone else around. But he was like, oh no, it was in our direction. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So we chatted to him for a while. And yeah, by the time the luggage carousel stopped, and they were still standing next to us, and we were like, I think my luggage might not exist. Brent was like, go to lost luggage now.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
The man knows.
Look, you think I traveled a lot this season? Wait until you see Brent Tonneson's passport. That's 3 times over whatever I was doing. That's yeah, so we're gonna have lost luggage. They were like, yeah, it's on our list of things that did not show up on this carousel.
Yep.
We'll let you know.
Yeah. I think the most important thing Well, the most important thing that you were asked, going, "Oh, is it stolen?" And they're like, "No, no, no, it just did not appear."
Yeah,
So,
because in my head I was like, "Well, if it's not like there's a good chance it's stolen. If it's stolen, we're cooked." But yeah, she was like,
mm,
"No, no, no. Like our, it's on our list. It did not
mm,
come out onto this carousel." I was like, "Okay, fair
yeah.
enough."
So,
So it
yeah,
was
it's just
stolen in LA.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just on an extended holiday, okay? You wanted to
Yeah,
see Venice Beach, you wanted to
yeah, Santa Monica Pier. But
mm.
yeah, there is a lot of stuff in there.
There
So
is a lot of stuff in there. Mm.
it's the majority of the stuff that I use. So it's a very practical
Yeah.
suitcase for
I'm
me.
hopeful. I'm hopeful. I think it will turn up. It's just it might take a while, but I'm hopeful will turn up in the next 2 weeks. So we'll see. Next podcast, we'll see if that is true or not. We'll give you an update.
I really hope so.
Mm.
I don't want to keep having to rebuy my entire wardrobe.
Hey, but now you got some expensive fancy undies.
So expensive, so insanely expensive. My lord, Hugo
There
Boss underwear is
there
just
is no Target Kmart at the Qantas
no, no.
airport. No.
So a Qantas as like a retribution. It's like day
Mm,
one they give you $100 to like buy essentials, and I think day
mhm,
two get another hundo, day three get another hundo, and then that's it until
mhm,
3 weeks
mhm.
pass, and they give you a settlement.
Yep.
So I had $100 to spend, and to it hasn't been mentioned yet. I was flying straight to the work conference from
Mhm,
Sydney Airport. Now Worlds was
mhm,
booked before Anaheim, so I could have
mhm,
flown straight into the conference in Brisbane, but
mhm,
I'd already booked, so it was like, okay, they've booked me a flight from Sydney to Brisbane
mhm.
after I land. It was like that's fine, and so I have to find clothing in Sydney Airport because it's like, well, I'm going to need this for the work conference. So I go like, okay, well, I have a second shirt thanks to the Battle Cats shirt, so we're good on
Mhm,
that front. I can wear these shorts another day. Um, Underwear and socks are the big ones. So I'm like, okay,
Yes. Yeah,
that's what I'll
yeah.
get. So I found
Mhm,
socks in like a climbing store, some
mhm.
activewear type beat.
Yeah.
They had some like $12 like anklets, but I really don't like anklets.
You
So
don't like
I got some
anklets.
like $20 ones
Mhm,
that had a bit of length on them.
mhm,
And then I just needed underwear. And I
mhm.
checked every store, every single store at that airport. I went through multiple times. I was like, and there was only one, and it
Mhm.
was at this like not even that bougie of a store really, but
Mm,
they had
it's
some
bougie.
bougie brands in it,
Yeah.
and so it's in the Hugo Boss section. And
Mhm.
there's this pack of 3 underwear that doesn't have a price
Mhm.
on it. And I'm like, well, that's never a good sign, but I'll go ask how much they are.
Yeah.
And so I go
Mhm.
ask the guy, and he's like $79 for a pack of 3 underwear. I'm like, what in the world? No shot. So I put it back. I leave. I'm like, I'm going to find something else in this airport.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing else in this airport. So half an hour later of me looking anywhere multiple times over just in case. I'm like, fine, I'll buy the $79 underwear. So I come back, pick up the same box, bring it to the same guy at the front. 30 minutes later, I'm like, yeah, I'm taking these. And then he's like, oh yeah, there's also like a 68 cents surcharge. I'm like, fine. This is so uncool. And so I spent $99.68 of that $100 to get 3 pairs of underwear and 3 pairs of socks. So
Yeah, I was cackling when you messaged me that, and obviously told who was around me, which was Avrip and Carmen. I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe what's going on with Steve right now."
baffling, baffling. But it then doesn't end because then I'm supposed to get on this flight. It was only supposed to be a 3 hour layover. I spent an hour
Mhm,
of it waiting for my luggage and waiting in line for the
mhm,
lost luggage or whatever.
mhm, mhm.
I
Say
spent
bye to
another hour
me, and
looking
I
for
was like,
clothes.
"Yep."
And then, yeah, we said, hooray, you were flying off to Perth in a different terminal.
Mhm,
Um, and then my flight got delayed by like 4 hours. And so I was already going to get to this conference late. It was like a
mm,
3 day conference with a fourth day of extra stuff
mm, mm,
that's
mm,
still
mm.
part of a conference.
Yeah.
Um, and I was already going to miss the first 2 days
Mhm,
because I was like,
mhm,
hey, Pokemon's more important, man. Sorry, work.
mhm, mhm.
And as a result of this 4 hour delay, I then missed the entire day three of the conference. I arrived afterwards. And it's like, right, that's all of the main conference that I've just missed.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
this has gone well.
Everyone's like,
Um,
"Where you at?"
yeah, when
Oh.
I got there, they were like, "Oh, you made it, did you?" And apparently at the start of the conference, they'd actually made it announced, like, everyone's in the same room. It's not one of those split conferences or whatever. It's like just
Mm,
one room. They
mhm,
literally said at the start of the conference, something along the lines of, Look, generally, I make a bit of a ruckus. I keep things interesting. Let's put it that way. When
Uh-huh.
I'm at a
Uh-huh.
conference, I'm making sure that the party's going on. And
Mhm.
so they literally said at the start of the look, Josh isn't here. So I guess we'll be looking for someone else to, to keep things interesting. He's at Pokemon. He's playing Pokemon right now. And so the entire conference was aware that I was off playing Pokemon. And so by the time when I arrived on that like Wednesday evening, everyone
Mhm.
I ran into was like, "Oh, how'd Pokemon go?" And I went, "Why does everyone know? What in the world?" And I had to
Mhm.
tell them like,
Mhm.
"Oh, not that good."
Mhm.
And then yeah, all week it was just like, "Oh, are you Pokemon World Champion?" No, no, I'm not.
Mm.
And then the new guys that had never been to this conference before were like, "Oh,
Mhm.
he's a big deal in Pokemon." And I'm like, "Guys, we needed it. This isn't necessary." Uh, but hey, I had clean underwear, so there's that.
There is that. Mhm.
Yay!
Yay.
But
So,
yeah,
yeah, we'll keep you guys updated on Steve's luggage.
yep.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's the world's experience. Let us know if you've got any
Yeah.
questions or other
Mm.
things that big things we
Steve,
missed from worlds.
We got YouTube
Oh
comments.
yeah, no. I know.
Okay,
I was
okay.
more just like hard wrapping up this part of it,
Okay,
not the
okay,
podcast. Yeah,
okay,
but
okay.
fair bring up.
Yes.
But yeah,
Mhm.
that was worlds.
That was Worlds.
Which like
Like,
as much as like this is how I explained it to someone yesterday, where I was like,
mm,
I had a good time at worlds. It was
mm,
a good experience. It was good seeing
mm,
everyone.
mm.
But yeah, almost every individual experience at Worlds was bad,
Mm.
which just hasn't been the case in the past. But it was all just so poorly organized in many senses of the word, unfortunately. Which I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is, man. But
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to like throw hate big Pikachu's way.
No.
I'm a big
No, no,
Pikachu
no.
fan, but it just
Yeah.
everything seemed to go wrong.
Yeah. There was just, I don't know, there was a missing element and it just didn't, it wasn't cohesive. It
No.
was just, yeah, it was just like held by the straws. I felt like in some, like it could easily have gone back like even worse. And it
Yeah.
was just,
Yeah.
it was just kind of like, oh, okay, like they managed, but it was, yeah.
Yeah, they
Again,
survived.
mm, mm.
It's
We had a
so
good experience. I'm very glad about that. It's just, yeah,
yeah, it was a
there's, I
very
think,
good time on the whole. But if any one piece of it, like if there was a Pokemon Center in my area, if there was a side event in
mm,
my area, if there was an arena in my
mm,
area, I was like, well, as a one singular experience, if that was the only thing that happened at Worlds,
mm.
you might not come away very happy.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. I mean, like those people that were spectators only had day passes, right? So they've only had the
Yeah.
1 day experience.
Can you
And if that
imagine if
was
you
your
spent half the
experience,
day doing like you
mhm,
spent
yeah,
5 hours doing Pokemon Center shenanigans, and that's like, well,
yeah.
there's most of my day gone.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. Well, I had people coming up quite late into the afternoon with asking for Mercury pins because they like just haven't had the chance to do their pin rally, and it was their only day.
yeah,
So they were just like, "Oh, I'm not coming back tomorrow. Like, is there any way like I can grab a pin?" I'm like, "Oh, well, I exchange pins. Like, yeah, what have you got?" Anyway, but yeah,
yeah.
still,
Also,
worlds. That's worlds.
I didn't get to
Hmm?
do Play Lab, which is like one of the really big things I
No.
really wanted to do.
Well,
It sucked that
we'll do it next time.
they cut it off early so that they could finish on time,
It was so small
but it
though.
was
The
so
play lab area. It
small.
was so tiny.
There wasn't a lot of capacity, so
No,
unfortunately, it was
no.
very easy to not get in, which I
Yeah.
was pretty.
Mm.
I mean, it was fine. I wanted to do it
I
though, and I was pretty
I really wanted the Mew pin. The Mew pin
yeah,
was
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I just wanted to play. I was disappointed that I
Yeah,
didn't get
I
to,
know.
but it is what it is. One
Mm.
of the other things that didn't quite go right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Worlds. So
That's worlds.
yeah,
All right, onto YouTube
on YouTube
comments.
comments. So this is episode 50, what 4,
54. So we're
and
going to
we're
go back
going back to episode
to
49, which
49.
was Road to
Yes.
Worlds 2025 Steve 7,
Steve 7.
which
Yep.
we posted on July 2nd. So it has almost been 2 months since we have read
Yep.
YouTube comments. Mostly
Yeah, yeah,
because like
yeah.
when we were doing recording episodes with all of the Aussies, like we didn't want to
Mm.
waste their time reading YouTube comments.
Yeah,
So appreciate the
exactly.
patience. I think we're going to see some
Yeah.
very frequent commenters.
Yes,
Um,
yes. All right.
and so episode 49, Hawk Aussie said,
Mhm.
Happy New Year and remember to do your tax return. I guess
Oh,
happy
gotta do
financial
that.
year.
Yeah.
Tristan said, "You see, Debbie, the key to getting a better / bulkier Galarian Moltres is paying for the encounter, then re-rolling it with a low friend, and then paying for a golden bottle cap to increase the defense and HP stats." True. Technically valid. I don't want to pay that.
No.
Also, when are we getting Batman Ashton Ash on the pod? Which, you know what? We should. We should get that guy on here at some point.
All right, let me write that down.
Yeah, it's a good
Ashton
idea.
Ash.
Because that was the
Watch his
episode
DMs.
where I think you originally said, like, he was like the Robin to my Batman, and I was like, no, I'm Robin. He's Batman for sure.
Yes.
On to episode 50, Valiant Vish and Gone 1001. Anne left a comment, "Break a leg. Good luck, Mr. Vish and Mr. Gone, for your runs at Worlds. Looking forward to seeing what teams you bring, and I hope you have lots of success with them." And hey,
Thanks.
they were pretty successful. Valiant Vish, day 2, Gone, only 1 win away.
Yeah.
Pretty solid run on the whole.
Thanks, Anema.
Thanks, Anna, for the comment as well. Episode 51, Adam, They Love Jamathy. Hawk Ozzy said, this recording must have happened during Australis Shield finals. I don't know how you could tell. I thought we kept it pretty close to our chests on that one, but man, you can see through anything. Then you got a comment. Apparently. Comment from Ann Emma. "Not just the Americans. I definitely said out loud on the train home as I was super confused as to what ice cream flavor you said, Debbie."
I rejected
the
2 Golden Gay
time.
times at Qantas because like they gave them out as desserts on the long haul flight. Oh no, the Perth flight actually, the domestic one.
Hey, there was no ice cream rejected on our flights.
We didn't even talk about that. That's another story.
I made some silly decisions.
Yes, not uncommon. But yeah, they offered, and I was like, I already took a lactase tablet. I didn't want to take 2, and I was like, no. But yeah, it's all right. I can have a Golden Gay time next time. It is an ice cream, FYI. But yes, we'll go on to the next bit.
Yeah. And Emma then continues, "Hi, Jai, waves. Break a leg. Good luck, lads, on your run at Worlds. Looking forward to seeing what teams you all bring. Smash it. Appreciate the support." And then also, Debbie and Steve, "Your boxes have flipped location. Was this intentional?" Which is true. Usually it's Debbie then Steve, but on this one it was Steve then
usually
Debbie.
we're left and right. So I think this was just more of a like, I'll just put. I didn't pay attention. Honestly, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I mean, I never paid that much attention to it either, but it's correct, I suppose.
Yeah, not wrong.
There you go. On to episode 52, where I'm still on the left. You're on the right this time. Holy. What in the world?
Watch out.
But this is the one where we actually had everyone with video as well. So we had Crimer Pokemon say "G'day Battlers" and "G'day to you" as well. We had Gus Beaver say "Num Nums equals 2 M&Ms."
I have no idea what that's in reference to.
I have no idea what that's in reference to.
It's all right.
Maybe you can let us know. Maybe someone remembers what was said. It wasn't that long ago.
If Gus Beaver is watching right now, can you give us some context for next time? That'd be great.
Gus Beaver, please remind us what we said. I mean, this happens all the time with stuff on Twitch when we do cleaning streams and we're reading like messages from like 20 minutes earlier. Lost. And then Emma says, "Break a leg, good luck for Worlds. You're very much looking forward to seeing what teams you all bring." And I guess you can check on Dracoviz, I suppose, because it's got all the teams uploaded. Not for Johannesburg, but it does for Worlds. So that's...
Didn't Anna Core say he was going to offload that?
Something like that. I just
Something about
recall.
spreadsheets.
We may never know, I guess. Then on to the last episode that we uploaded before this one, where I'm still on top. I think it's just a reuse of the same overlay that you used for the one from Q before. So it makes sense that it would be.
I don't know.
There's a comment from G'day Battlers saying, "See you after Worlds. We'll catch up on the YouTube comments once we're back." Tick.
True.
And last comments from Ann Emma. "Rick not taking a suitcase when he travels. How I'm baffled." Also, and I'm going to reading the rest of this comment. Also, the absolute nonchalant way he was just like, "I take 2 backpacks on the plane home," absolutely sent me. If I only I took 2 backpacks on the way home. Alas. Look, I've said elsewhere, I knew I was going to leave one of them behind. I was confident.
You were.
Like when Debbie was like, "Just carry 2," I was like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. They will not both make it.
Yeah. Then I was like, okay, all right, then we got to put it all in one then.
Do you know how many times I've left that laptop behind? An insane amount of times.
It's mentioned a couple of times on this podcast already, so I imagine there's more.
And there is more. There is absolutely more.
You know
I
what?
left it behind in New Zealand, even.
We need those tags for you. I think those tags are going to be very good.
Yeah, maybe.
A worthwhile investment.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But Anne continues, break a leg, good luck for Worlds, Mr. Flarian.
Mm-hmm.
Look forward to seeing what team you bring and hope you have a good run at Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And the final comment, can we get Rick on the casting team for Clash of the Casters? I can tell you pretty confidently, no. He will not be keen. There, Doctor Strange is looking at a million universes to find, all of the different scenarios that could play out. You know how many of them have Ric Flair in casting? Zip, zero, nada. That man is not casting anything, and that's just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is comments caught up on, and we're under 3 hours. What a short episode!
Yeah, very short episode.
Yeah, huge. We've broken the record for the the NNSC episode actually went for over 3 hours, so it's not even the longest.
Oh, maybe we need to put some cow noises at the end.
We don't need to we've got enough in this episode already.
Listening to the smooth sound. Yeah. Maybe we get a featuring Rocha Babyface. Like, hey Rocha, I just need some moo sounds for the next 5 minutes. Can you send it over?
5. We're
fill up the episode.
Yeah, that episode went for 3 hours and 9 minutes. We need 15 minutes of moos.
Hey Rocha.
You're not busy, yeah?
Yeah. Can you and Richie both send us
Thanks.
Yep. Hey, Ashton Ash. I know we want you on the podcast, but this is what we require from you first.
That's all right. But yeah, that's all. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks NMF for supporting on Patreon as well.
Thanks NMF.
Any last words before we
follow us on X at G'day Battlers. Follow us on the YouTubes. Drop a subscribe, drop a comment. We muchly appreciated. Joins Steve's Patreon so he can buy more underwear. That would be great.
I bought a bluey shirt yesterday.
Oh, that's cute.
Same with an apron.
Well, maybe you'll be able to use that as some prop at some point.
We'll
you can use it as what is he cooking up for his RPS team, and you have the apron on.
Yeah,
we can make it work. We'll make it work. It's
It does have other IP on it though, so.
Maybe we can flip it around then. It's still an apron.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway.
True. All right, that's enough of this podcast. We'll see you guys in the next one. And yeah, if you haven't done all the other social stuff, please do, and we'll see you then. Take care. Bye.
Bye.